Yeah,
kind
I
of.
feel like you would have had a lot of people watching yesterday, bro.
I know, dude. I know. That's why. Hopefully, hopefully we can all get together and do the same thing again for the next one because it was just so unfortunate the way it all happened.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I listened to the stream probably like twice, and I was like, "This is so unwatchable," or so. I mean, yeah, you can barely hear you guys, and only because I was in the stream do I know what Villagy was saying. But it was just for me, it was unlistenable. So I was actually thinking about just deleting it altogether, or maybe just privating because I'm not proud of that at all. So
Well, it's not
So
like
I'm
it's
guessing
your
Sonic
fault.
didn't record it.
When you think about it, it's not like you had a bunch of driver updates and it just kind of messed everything up.
yeah. I mean, and I don't think Sonic was able to get any audio out of it either. I think the situation was probably just as good. But I was thinking that if Sonic was in the chat, he could have at least like screenshot the Discord conversation and possibly get the audio out of that since he was in the Discord. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he had another video he was doing anyway, and I don't know. It's kind of like a last minute ask for me to do that for him or to ask it for him. But no, I definitely want to write down more topics that I wanted to cover because we still didn't really get to cover a lot. We talked a lot about the whole girl thing, and I don't know. I still don't really see the point. I mean, he's practically my age. He's like 2 years younger than me, and he's like going after like 19 and 20-year-olds. I'm like, bro, I mean, there's just no. I mean, I can only speak for myself. For me, that's just like these girls are too young. Yeah, they might be attractive and stuff like that, but you have no like grounds for connection with them. No common ground.
Yeah.
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 I mean, just from my perspective, you wouldn't ever see me going after, some 18 or 19-year-old.
Yeah, I
Because for
mean,
me, for me, from my preferences only, I mean, I've always been kind of preference to older women.
mhm.
So, I understand the appeal of a hot young thing, but it was never something I really wanted.
No, I get it. I mean, for me, it's just like I just don't have anything to talk about. It's like I already have enough issues with my wife being like a foreigner, not knowing all of these like American references that I'll say in movies. So it's like, okay, well then I get the opportunity to get to show her these movies, and and it could be the first time. But when you get like another American that's just like super young, and like everything you say goes over the head, I'm like that has to get kind of annoying after a while. It's like okay, I mean,
Yeah.
it just seems like it just breaks down to just a physical attraction and not like a intellectually satisfying relationship. It's like you're just kind of
Yeah.
like you're kind of like in the mentor position, and they're just there to just kind of learn from you, and maybe eventually, once they get a little bit more sense about themselves, they'll realize, okay, I want a guy that's like a little bit younger, not as old as you, because you kind of take on this like father figure, and I'd rather
Yeah.
be with somebody that's a little bit more
That's
my
not even,
age.
yeah, and that's not even good for any type of romantic relationship.
Right.
Unless the woman in question has a really serious daddy fetish.
Which a lot of girls that are that didn't grow up with their fathers, or maybe had a very limited experience with their fathers, yeah, they're going to be seeking validation through an older man or possibly just multiple men.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, it looks like everything's coming in good, dude. I'm happy I finally got that shit sorted out. I was like really stressed.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do it live, man. We do it live, and the only thing we can do is hope for the best. And I don't know. I was also dealing with outside stuff as well. My yesterday night, while I was working, my wife messaged me and she said that she was laying on the couch and my son basically like hit her in the eye. I guess they were like both kind of like laying down on the couch, and I guess he like rolled over and his hand like hit her straight on her eye and scratched her cornea. So I had to take her to the emergency room this morning because they didn't open until about 8 o'clock, and so they put this like green eye drops in her eye, and yeah, she had like a slash like right in the middle of her eye, and so I was dealing with that all morning. Thank God I didn't have to work today. Like we all had the day off, and she took the day off as well. But I was just dealing with that, and I was just kind of nervous. I was like, God, I'm going to take you in this emergency room, and they're going to immediately think I hit you. It's like, and I was like, what I need to do, I need to play the audio clip that you sent me at like 8 o'clock saying that, he like scratched you in your eye, and then I'll be safe. Because that's the last thing I need is have to deal with that.
Yeah, and the sad part is that they're medical professionals. Unless you actually have a fair amount of proof, they automatically think that you're an abuser, and I really hate that.
Yeah, dude, it's messed up, brother. But luckily when I went to the urgent care this morning, I was able to play the audio and stuff, and they're like, okay, and then even the doctor was like, yeah, you gotta make sure that she was telling my wife, she's like, hey, make sure that you don't put your face too close to your son, when you sleep and stuff, because you don't want that to happen again. So
yeah,
but yeah, dude, it looks like everything's fixed, man. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to hope to God. Oh, that's another thing that's happening. So with OBS, I'm running in safe mode. I notice when I just run it as like an administrator in like the normal mode, it doesn't pick up the audio. So I'm going to be running it in safe mode from now on, which I think that's going to change some things. I think for like my starting soon screen, I think the only thing, like I won't have the that wavelength visualizer anymore, but everything else pretty much stays the same. So we'll still be able to have like the conversation we tried to have last night, and then if I play any like videos and everything, all the audio will come through. So that's good.
It was fine that he actually was talking during the stream, but he cut me and other, a lot. I don't know about if Kavos was the same way, but he really dominated, and I didn't really mind, but it was kind of annoying at times where you couldn't even get a word in edgewise.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I agree, but 1 second. I hope that we can all have the same group in the conversation, and we can kind of establish some ground rules. Like, hey, let's not talk over each other because it's not like a good experience for the audience. I mean, we kind of had the out that the audience couldn't hear us anyway. But now that everything is fixed,
that tends to happen too. I mean, like, I don't know if you've been on TikTok, but the same thing happens on there too. Like, people will just over talk each other.
Right. And, I get it if we're like in a heated debate and stuff like that, and everybody wants to be like charged and stuff with their conversation. Like, I'm completely fine with that. If you guys want to if you guys like don't want somebody to go off on like a tangent, you kind of want to reel them back in. I don't know if you guys noticed that I was trying to like ask him direct questions, and then when he started going off and like other things, I'll be like, okay, let me reel you back in and re-ask you the question so you can actually so we can actually get some answers. Yeah. And so that's kind of something that at least in terms when I'm talking to people that kind of like to do that, I kind of like to at least have my notes in front of me, that way I don't get thrown off. So at least I'll be better prepared for the next stream. And you guys again are more than welcome if you have the time to join the Discord, and you guys can chime in and stuff like that. If you guys have any questions, like Ghost, I know you're not really caught up on the lore of Villatube. You kind of got tossed into this, but if there is like anything that you would like to know, you could always ask him directly. The question you asked me about, what's the whole deal with him and stuff,
I still wanted to ask him questions, dude. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. Like that, I think we could have all had like an equal amount of time. Yeah. But it's just it was kind of very impromptu, the whole thing. I don't know if you guys realize, but like I had like 3 topics I wanted to talk about before VillaTube chimed in. I was like, oh shit, let's just toss all this aside and let's just do this, you know. Um, but it gets like that, you know, and still, I think it was a
Yeah,
good
like
conversation. At least, you know, it didn't get like too contentious. But I was kind of pushing for a little bit of a back and forth debate style. You know, like in terms of like ideology and just views on like Fresh and Fit and stuff. Because obviously, he still kind of has like them up on a pedestal in a way. And I'm like, you don't really see how they're kind of locales now. Like it's not that I'm going with the crowd and just making fun of them just to make fun of them. They really are like terrible people. You know?
yeah,
And
not only that too, bro, but like compared to like what other people have, like when other people have made videos on them, like hating them, and yet he wants to come at you when all you're doing is like trolling them. I think that's kind of like,
Well,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
And there's also the fact that, someone who has earned criticism earns it. Just
Exactly.
trolling someone to troll somebody, you need to draw a line at some point. But if someone's just yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to give Fresh and Fit flack because they've said things that, a lot of people are be like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, I agree." And then, you get a bunch of head nods and then, is this really worth the head nod? Not really.
yeah, I mean, it just seems like they're pandering to their like audience, like which could be a lot of alt right teenage boys, you know, like Nick Fuentes fans, you know, which clearly VillaTube is a huge fan of Nick. He's a huge fan of like Alex Jones and stuff. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but in the Discord, he has like the little icon of like the O slash army, which, you know, O slash is basically like,
Oh, does he?
yeah, I don't know if you took it. I noticed that last night, but I didn't bring it up. It was just one of the things that I noticed. And I was like, okay, so he's like a total follower of like Myron,
Do
you
you
know?
think he's a white supremacist?
That was another question that we're gonna have to save for next stream, man. You know, like there's just so many things
Yeah.
I wanted to really like, but I didn't want to unpack the whole thing, you know, like because that's why I kind of touched on it a little bit with the whole race mixing thing because I know that's kind of like a Nick Fuentes talking point, you know, he's definitely against
Well,
that, and
yeah, and he also said that he doesn't believe racism exists. So it's like,
that's a Jesse Lee Peterson quote. So he follows Jesse Lee Peterson, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, and Myron Gaines. That's just like that's awful, man. Like those are like the worst people to follow.
yeah. And did he say like how long he's been a fan of them?
I mean, he's only been watching Fresh and Fit for a couple years. He says he's been watching Alex Jones for over 20 years, and Jesse Lee Peterson's been also he had a radio show, but he has also had a YouTube for some time too. You know, so I don't know how long he's been following him, but he definitely knows the talking points.
Okay. No, I was just asking because I thought maybe he became like a fan recently when Myron decided to, become, like a white supremacist pretty much.
Right.
Because that was like recent, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were really drawn to Myron for that view, and I mean, like I said it before, man. Like he literally dropped his initial audience for the alt right audience, you know, and it's starting to cross over with the after hour show, and you're getting like these
Yeah.
racists that are
Dude,
just typing all type
I
of
saw
comments.
sorry to cut you off, bro, but like
No, you're good.
I saw a clip. This dude, I don't know his name, but he was like a guest on the panel, and I guess he shares the same views as Myron. And he dropped the hard R with like a full panel of like black women,
Yep.
and like, dude, it was just the goofiest shit ever because like he's dropping it, and then you have like Fresh who's just sitting there like not even,
Chuckling. Yeah.
he doesn't care. Like he's just totally
No.
cool with like people just saying the hard R. I'm like, dude, what am I watching right now? Like,
It's a
you know?
total de-evolution. You know, it's like complete pandering, and yeah, it's kind of sad because it's like these guys are willing to be so like audience captured to just kind of not only like talk down to like all women in general, but to just really berate black people like in their face, you know, like they don't have any fear. I don't know if they could do that with men in the room, but they can definitely do it with women in the room, you know.
I mean, well, this is kind of the you know, how do some people deal with conflict? And you know, it's just that if you're in a room with women, you know, women are much more what is it? Dr. Peterson brought it up. Agreeableness, that's it. You know, most women won't speak up unless what you're saying has a really big impact on that, and even then some will still keep their mouths will stay quiet um because they don't want to rock the boat. Plus, you know, there's also the fact that, you know, I do know that in some of these cases women are getting paid to go on those shows.
Yeah, well, that was another thing that was brought up, that was exposed, and then I think Myron like completely like tried to shut that down, like that whole narrative about them getting paid, because it was one of the producers that like I guess paid a couple girls to come onto the show, and then the girl I guess ended up letting Myron know by saying that. You know, he's like, why are you guys even here? He's like, because we were paid to be here. And then Myron was like, who paid you to be here? And then like they were like, well, we don't want to say their names. But then like they kept pressing them, and then they ended up like saying who it was, and then it was like two of the producers. So and Myron basically fired both of them on air. And I was just like, okay, like I guess less people to pay. You know, you get to keep more money. You know, like it kind of makes sense. Like they're demonetized. They're not making any money. They have to like find all these different outlets to gain money. And if it means firing a couple employees so they can keep a bigger piece of the pie, it makes sense. You know, like any little thing is going to set them off and give them a reason to like cut you out. But yeah, I mean, going back to the thing we were talking about before, with God, I forgot what was what we were talking about before that. Before the the clip of that guy dropping the hard R. I played that on the stream earlier last night, but because it didn't have any audio, it was just, I mean, you could barely hear it, but yeah, it was definitely, I played it. That was one of the things I played. And then I also played the Alex Jones speech. Let's go ahead and bring it up now. Let's just kind of make a redemption from last night, because that was something I wanted to have. I definitely need a redemption from last night. That was just like, God damn it. I don't feel proud. I was like, I gotta do this. Actually, it was on Length or Girth, actually. I don't know. I'm typing Length or Girth, Reddit.
The clip that I found was on YouTube from the guy that went on.
Yes. Yeah, that was on Reddit as well. Because that's where I played it from. Because somebody clipped it up, and that's where I first saw it. I was like, oh shit. I mean, like I told you, that's where I see everything. Okay, so is this the one? No. Okay, good thing not a lot of stuff has happened since last night. Okay, yeah, this is it. Hopefully the audio will come through.
All right. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid fucking nigger!
Bro, you can't be saying that type of stupid shit, bro.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah, now you violating. You can't be violating like that.
You just said the N-word?
You can't be violating like that.
Like, someone can just, like, take this.
Oh, everybody's getting off now? Oh, this is great.
I did it last time, too.
Here come the gorillas. All right.
Come on, you guys know your worth. Come on, sit back down. You know your worth.
No, let them go. It's fine. This is some nigger behavior. I agree. Get out. We don't give a fuck.
That word with the ER is just a word of ignorance.
This man
like,
is raised
shouldn't let. Yeah.
Like, he's...
Hey, man.
I had to spice it up. That was getting so boring.
You guys notice how much more space we got here at the table now?
Bro, she got it. It was like an earthquake, bro.
Yo, get these fucking Donkey Kong characters out of here, bro. We don't give a fuck, man.
Yo.
That's some nigger behavior, so it is what it is. I'm offended by a word. You bitches are retarded. Who gives a fuck? They're behaving like niggers. It's true.
Man.
All right. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, this whole thing, it just.
Bro, that is the goofiest shit I've ever seen, bro.
No, man.
I'm sorry.
It's like, okay, you guys have no chance of getting remonetized. You know that, right? Like, I know you guys have just completely given up. It's just like, fuck it. We might as well just go balls out. And, yeah, this McDougal guy, Randy McDougal, I never heard of him until that little clip. And yeah, apparently he's kind of like a Nick Flick Fuentes Jr., I'm guessing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, you know, Nick Fuentes kind of paved the way for all these guys to kind of come out of the woodwork and get their own platforms. And yeah, I mean, whatever
I
works.
I saw the longer clip of it, and Myron was basically like trying to justify why it was okay to say it, and that like, oh, if black people are just gonna resort to violence, and that proves like that they're emotional and violent and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah,
what?
That's a very like soft brain take, man. Like, honestly, he has like no. The reason why he's not offended by it is because he doesn't identify as black. You know, he's an Arab. You know, from Sudan, and Fresh is a islander from Barbados, you know, so they don't know anything about the actual black experience. You know, they don't have any of that in their history. So yeah, like saying the N-word to them is like, that's nothing. It doesn't affect them. It's like a white person, you know, saying it or hearing it. It doesn't, I mean, I don't know, man. To me, it's like, I understand why they're not offended, but it doesn't make it right. And especially, you know, if they're going to bring on, you know, American black people, you know, that obviously it's going to trigger them. It just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense, man. You know, it's like, do you think they really are doing something good for young? I was like, where does the young men come in this whole conversation? Like, what are they benefiting from this type of content? And I think that's kind of what, you know, people like VillaTube, you know, that don't really, maybe they're like, okay, this is that 1% I was talking about that I don't agree with them with, you know, but it's like, you can't just like ignore it. You know, you have to kind of take it all, or you can kind of be like, okay, you got to kind of put these guys in a certain, you know, place and understand that you can't take them serious. You know, you can't take Fresh serious when it comes to like dating advice. You definitely can't take advice from Myron when it comes to relationships. You know, it's like maybe you follow him for his political ideals, you know. Fresh doesn't really offer anything of value, anything. So it's like, I don't know, I guess if you're a racist or you're a white supremacist and stuff, yeah, I can see how Myron's content would appeal to you, but everybody else is just like, yeah, this is for me, it's unwatchable, and it's kind of like I'm not even offended because, you know, I think I said before, it takes a lot for me to get offended. I can just be like, okay, this is obviously like sludge, you know, like I can see that there's no value in it anymore, and yeah, that's just how I feel about it. So that's like, I have no problem trolling these guys and making fun of them.
Yeah, they're little cows, bro.
Yeah. And anybody that has like them on this pedestal and stuff, like I will do my best to like, okay, let me hear you out. Let me hear what you have to say in terms of like your perspective of them. And I can knock it down piece by piece, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, sadly for Fresh and Fit, their audience was originally guys who didn't really have a good, you know, positive male role model, like at least a decent father in their lives. And you know, that's what a lot of those audiences target is are young men who don't really have fathers in their lives who have, you know, done a good job. And you know, it's, you know, part of it is the rage baiting, you know, get guys on there to listen, and there are times where they have brought up good points, but more often than not, you know, they bring up the good point and then like 2 minutes later the good point is dropped and they're just on to the next subject, and it doesn't ever really work out well if you ever do that.
No, I mean, if you're having like racially charged tirades, in the middle of your show, it's like you kind of have to throw out all meeting after that, because it's like, okay, now you're starting to lose people because there's a lot of people that don't agree with this kind of behavior. It's like, can you just get back on track with whatever you were originally planning to do? Because I don't know if you were just like, okay, like I am going to rage bait, or maybe that's part of the chase for constant virality is like just keep saying outlandish stuff, keep like getting people talking about us. It's like whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's like just keep us in the conversation, basically.
Yeah, from what I understand, whatever has a similar structure, but the guy who runs the Whatever podcast, he actually is a lot smarter with it, so the content stays consistent.
Oh yeah, he knows where the walls are in terms of like the border and stuff, and not to push too far. And even when people try to, he's like, yo, he shuts it down like real quick because he's like, dude, I don't want to stop this gravy train,
Yeah.
Like he's getting $200 super chats like every couple minutes, and it's like, come on now.
Even it's like 1,000 sometimes, bro.
Oh no, I've seen it, dude, and that's what I'm saying. Like they make crazy amounts of money, and I mean it's literally a lot of the Fresh and Fit audience that used to support them, are now over there.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that collaboration's ever
crazy?
coming either, because I think Brian is smart enough to be like, nah, I'm good. We're good. We're gonna keep things out, keeping it running over here.
Yeah, Myron tried to, I think, collab with them, right?
Yeah, he announced it. And I think even Fresh was like, yeah, he's like, we got something in the works, whatever. But I'm just like, if Brian is smart, dude, he's going to stay as far away from you as possible. He can have like the guests that you had on there, like Andrew Wilson, or I think even Rolo Tomasi's been on there a couple times, And yeah, but there's never going to be an actual like collaboration. They might mention each other from time to time, but that's about it.
What's funny is that there was a... Oh, sorry, go ahead, bro.
Started.
You guys are both being gentlemen. Somebody speak.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, it's just interesting because I remember specifically there was a call-in show where Myron he was saying like, I'm never gonna collab with Pearl and whatever. He literally said that, and after they got demonetized, he collabed with Pearl, and then he was trying to collab with whatever. And so I don't know. It's just it's interesting, bro. Like Myron will say one thing, but
he's very inconsistent, at least in like his stances on things. Like I think he said, because he was doing the what's it called, the Predator streams with Vitaly.
Yeah,
but then at the same time he was collaborating with Zerka, who was doing those streams, those IRLs with Heel Mike, and they were hanging out with underage girls on camera, and they exposed themselves. When they're like, "You didn't card that girl," and then they finally carded them. They found out that they were underage, and I was like, okay, so but then Fresh and Myron, they both kind of were like in a divide about having Zerka back on the show. But then they have Zerka back on the show, and then Zerka goes on Fresh's show, and it's like, I don't get it, man. These guys just they basically know that people want to see these people, and they're willing to put all of their like hang-ups about them to the side just so that they can make content, because it's like that's all they care about. They just care about making money. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's sorry, bro. No, I was just gonna say, dude, Fresh's stream, I think he's done with that. Honestly, he hasn't uploaded like at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I like something crazy has to happen in order for me to even go on my radar. So whether it's running or not, I couldn't even tell you. So, but like, I truly don't think Fresh has the chops to be in front of a mic, man. I don't think he has anything of value to offer. A lot of it's just flexing. A lot of it is, he gets his money from whatever they make off of the Castle Club and the O/Army and stuff, and just from fleecing young guys that are just trying to look for that older brother or that father figure to kind of give them guidance. you know, and I just think that they're just in a position where they're taking advantage of young guys, you know, and they think there just needs to be people to kind of like stand up and let people. I mean, a lot of people already know. People that have sense know that they don't really offer any like real value on like a widespread to guys. People know that. But I think there needs to be more people like vocally like standing up and saying that, yeah, this is not going to help you with women, you know, like having multiple girlfriends or putting that out there that no, you're going to have to share me and stuff. You're going to be alone forever. You're going to be just like Myron. You're going to be completely alone forever. You know, like this whole thing about him, you know, having 4 wives. He hasn't mentioned that since then. You know, since the whole Angie breakup and stuff. I think he's just gonna be the incel that he is, you know, he plays to. He's gonna turn into that. You know.
Yeah, it's just so hard, bro. He said he has a body count of 500, but then he says he stays inside all day. Like that's I don't know, bro. I don't know how.
Yeah, nobody can verify that.
I mean, unless he's paying escorts by the 1,000.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I mean, he said he was worth like a couple $1 million at least on paper with his real estate portfolio and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I mean, come on now. I mean, he said he even said it out of his mouth. He's like, look, I wish we would just pay for box because it would be a whole lot easier. We wouldn't have to deal with all this BS from these women and their allegations and everything like that. If you pay a woman for box, then she knows what it is. You know, it's like she doesn't hassle you. You know, she just gives you the best parts of her and then she leaves. And I'm like, but okay, you saying that makes it even more real that's exactly what's going on. But you're just trying to like, you're trying to spin it in a way that like, of course we don't do that.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems like with their workflow and his work schedule and stuff, he doesn't have time to for any of that, to work on that. So yeah, it's just easier for him to just get on whatever app and stuff, and you know, because they've already set up their online profiles to be like these sugar daddies and stuff. Who cares what goes offline? You know, it's like it's whatever matters online with the message that they're putting out. Yeah. But anything offline, you know, they don't care about that. So
there's a video of like their complete downfall, and it's like in a timeline, you know. I really recommend you watch it, bro.
Haven't I put it on the stream already? The downfall of Fresh and Fit? I probably have.
Maybe.
Who's it by?
You probably have.
Do you know who made it?
It's like an hour long.
I mean, I probably covered it, dude. Most likely. Yeah, if it was an hour, you know me, I always go for those hour-long videos, so I'm pretty sure I probably found it. I can't remember the name of the creator that did that video. Let's just look it up real quick. Downfall of Fresh and Fit. If you just want to look on screen, is it this one here by Don Ozzy? The hour and 4 minutes. Full timeline.
Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I have it on stream right now. The full timeline, the rise and fall of Fresh and Fit podcast. It's by Don Ozzy. It's an hour and 4 minutes. Yeah, I already covered this already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see the video cam if you got it up there.
Oh, okay. Are you tuned in to the YouTube stream right now?
Oh, no, I'm not. But I'll jump on that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Don Ozzy. I've actually it's a great video. It has like clips of O'Shea Duke Jackson on it, and I know you. Yeah, I have what's it called? I've actually spoken with Don Ozzy because he had like a bunch of videos he did on. Oops, hold on. He did a bunch of videos on Saint and the Sinner, and Saint and the Sinner tried to like get him. I think he got one of his accounts deleted actually. And so Don Ozzy is his actual second account, and he came back and and he did an even better Satan Center video, and I think he did like 2 of them total. But yeah, he's good, man. He's a good content creator. He's good with the deep dives and stuff. But yeah, I definitely remember going over that video because I mean, anything I see that's like, you know, that's Fresh and Fit, like roasting them and stuff, I'm like, okay, let's check this out. Especially that one guy. I have a couple of his videos on my channel. He's always like roasting Fresh.
Yeah, I know who
He's
you're talking
great.
about.
He's great, dude. Khalil Zaween, he's funny.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. But other than that, man, I just don't really I really want to move on from
Yeah.
Fresh and Fit because it just seems like we're now at that point where we're just kind of spinning their wheels. You know, we are now in this point where we're keeping them relevant. You know, when they just desperately need to be relevant. And
Yeah.
I'm just ready to just kind of move on and talk about like other things. You know, like I've already outgrown them, but I know there's still people that like want to like talk about them.
Can I ask you, bro? Like, so, what kind of ideas do you have, maybe for like future streams or like future videos and stuff?
More collaboration with more people because I think I might have mentioned that I had met a comedian that I was this was back when my car was in the shop and I was riding around in rideshare. I got picked up by this comedian actually, and you know he told me, he gave me his links or whatever, and I told him I had a podcast. He's like, yeah, man, I'd definitely like to come on sometime and just like I have a bunch of stories I could tell. So I told him, I was like, yeah, definitely, man. And I mean, yeah, just more collaborations with people. I don't know if you remember Mr. Dank that came on. We had a conversation with me, Dank, and Sonic. Dank wants to do more collaborations. Yeah. He actually wants to do like we were talking about stoner recipes. He wants to do like kind of like a cooking segment where he like, cause he's like, I love to cook and I also love to smoke. And I was like, well, you could always do like stoner recipes or like, I don't know. What did I say? I think it was, what did I say? I said something like stoner bites or I don't know, something like that. And I was like, yeah, dude,
Stoner bits?
Something like that. I was like, yeah, dude, we could totally like, I could totally help you with that if you want to like do that on your channel. He's like, no, I'd love to just come on your channel because you already have like the built-in audience already. And he's like, I loved coming on the show. And I was like, yeah, dude, absolutely. So we'll see. You know, I know he's trying to get his work-life situation sorted out. And once that is all leveled out and everything, you know, he wants to either do in-person podcasting with me or we can do it remotely. But I told him, I was like, look, if whatever you need to in terms of like equipment and everything, just let me know and I can help you like find the best stuff and I can get you set up, you know, because I know how to do it now. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe just more collaborations, you know, maybe more debates with Mr. Sonic if we have any more disagreements. I mean, the thing is, I don't really have too much planned besides the collaborations with people. You know, I really like to kind of keep things current and just talk about like, you know, whatever is going on, you know, kind of go with that whole weekly update kind of thing that I'm doing. Something like that.
Well, if you plan on like having more debates, I'd definitely be down to like join and, you know, I'd be down to maybe try and debate. Like I've been trying to really get good at debating. I was on TikTok for a little bit and I was joining like TikTok lives where they'd have like debates and stuff and
oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exo Charles, welcome to the stream. Yo, hustlers, I'm always late. Hey man, this is actually just this was a test stream, you know, to make sure I got the audio fixed because last night, man, that was a struggle stream, man. I felt like I was in my first year of YouTube. But yeah, we finally got it all fixed, man. And other than that, man, yeah, I mean, I do like having all of us on. Like last night was a great stream for the people that could hear it. I would like to have more of those. That's kind of what I've been trying to like evolve into is having just regular people that tune in and just like you guys, everybody that I've given a wrench to, I think we can be in like a weekly conversation about whatever's going on and we can have like a watch together and we can just like, you know, do it all together, you know, because I mean, instead of having you guys having to type and stuff, I think it would be a great for us to just come together once a week and, you know, just share our thoughts on different topics and stuff. That's kind of what I've been trying to build towards. So
no, definitely, bro. I'd be down for that.
And Ghost, man, you've been great coming in here with your perspectives and stuff. I mean, you already have your own thing going, but I appreciate you taking the time out to, you know, help me out and stuff. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, this is kind of how you help each other grow.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm glad to do whatever I can to, bring people your way and get people tuning into your streams and stuff. Because, I mean, that's really, I mean, that's kind of the organic feel audience that I'm trying to go for. I just want everybody to know everybody, and I want to be able to know my audience. I don't want to just have a bunch of empty subscribers that they subscribe to me for like one viral thing and that's it. I want it to be a real. I want people to mess with me for real, So,
I mean, you said let's get off Fresh and Fit, but every time they bring on OnlyFans models, every time they've brought them on, those OnlyFans models have had their accounts blow up.
Yeah,
it was like, don't bring them on. If you're trying to say this is degeneracy, don't bring them on.
Oh, that was the biggest, I guess, talking point about their, what's it called, the ferry boat cruise that they had. Like they were basically saying like, yeah, like these girls you want to stay away from, but we're gonna need to have a bunch of these girls on the cruise. For all of the fans that are gonna pay like $1,000 to $4,000 to come and hang out with us. It's like you're kind of going against your own message. It's like I know that you guys don't have the ability to attract good, sensible women that don't have OnlyFans accounts. I know that's just impossible for you, especially in Miami. It's just like the hub. But it just seems counterintuitive to your message. Fresh and Fish message about trying to select the right woman and everything like that. It's like you're never gonna do that. Not in a sea of OnlyFans models. These are the type of women that you preach against, and now you're gonna subject your fans to them. It's like you're giving them a platform, and even the fans that are like coming on and saying like, yeah, like these, they'll go on and they'll do like, hey, from left to right, this person is like that, this, that, and then later they'll be subscribing to them. So it's like everybody's a hypocrite at the end of the day. So yeah. Exo Charles says it's all a show. Myron knows he's helping the OF models get more money. Yeah, and that's the silent agreement. It's like, look, we're not gonna. He'll say we're not gonna pay you to come on the show, but we will give you exposure, which will in turn give you more money. And yeah, I mean it's a win-win because nobody tunes into them when it's just the guys. When it's just Fresh and Fit, or when like they have one of their like nerd guys come on and they're like stroking each other's egos. Nobody cares about those shows. They only care about watching the girls.
Yeah. Although I don't understand why Rollo Tomasi would go on there. I'm not a big fan of his, but
well, because Myron's a big fan of him. Like they glaze him whenever they're on the show. Like that whole book that he had, The Rational Male. Like that's kind of like they're like big proponents of that book. They glaze him all the time.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah. So and Rollo, anything to keep him relevant. Yeah, he's gonna go on Fresh and Fit because he knows where the audience is.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people like him have twisted what the red pill originally was into what it is now. I'm not a big fan of that, but it's what they've done.
Yeah. And even, Rollo Tomasi, he slingshots all the time at Fresh and Fit. Even when they come on to Access Vegas and, do kind of like a co-host thing or where they take over. And they have different styles of how they run their show. Rollo Tomasi is just like, look, I don't think it's right to kick out girls when you disagree, because then there's no discourse to happen. It completely ends, and then you're just left with one perspective. It's like that's why we don't kick girls out. But when Myron comes over there, like he just doesn't want to hear anybody that disagrees with him. And which I think Rollo's right. I don't think he it's like why are you gonna, with a lot of those girls, they travel to be on those shows, and then to just get kicked out within like a couple minutes, it's kind of a waste.
Oh yeah. Well, but yeah, I mean, come on. If you're trying to have an entertaining discourse, you kind of need to have everybody there. I mean, there's a very strict line between compliance and having a good show. And if he's just demanding compliance, you're not going to have a good show.
but they know what will, people will remember. They'll remember the kickouts. They'll remember the shouting over one another. And, they know that that's what people want to see. So I honestly think a lot of that stuff is manufactured, like Myron knows how to trigger people, and he knows like what to say to get the people going. And now
it's also getting kind of old, bro.
It is, man. It's like that last clip, like bringing that guy on and stuff. It's like, it's so formulaic at this point. It's like you can see it coming before it happens. So, but I mean, I don't know if there's any new viewers to Fresh and Fit that are just like, whoa, like this is crazy and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, you give it a couple years, man, you'll be like, okay, this is more of the same, like I need something else in my life, or I've grown from this, I mean, I think that's another thing. It's like you eventually outgrow certain creators on YouTube, people that used to watch when you were younger, that either they're not making videos anymore, or maybe they even grown up and are doing other things now. But when you got people that are just like, they keep doing the same thing, it's like, okay, it's like you're just going to keep pandering to the same type of demographic and stuff. But I mean, you understand that your formula is not working in your favor. Like, you're not going to ever get remonetized because of the type of content and the type of envelopes that you think that you are pushing. It's like, you don't have a winning strategy. So.
No. And if you can't revitalize your stuff, then you're kind of just better off doing something else.
Right. Yeah. And I think that was what the private ventures that Myron and Fresh had, like splitting off and doing their own thing. But I think what YouTube is a lot more sophisticated when people try to, go around certain type of things, and I think Myron is still, like, all of his accounts are still like banned and stuff. There's nothing that he can do. It doesn't matter if he makes another one. It's just going to be another banned account, like oh, go ahead.
That's his own doing.
Yeah. No, he has nobody else to blame but himself, but he thinks that, by bringing people like Nick Fuentes on, people, like that Randy McDougal guy, whatever, he's like, yeah, it's going to increase our notoriety, and people are going to know that we're not paid and bought for, like we can actually just say whatever we want to say. And it's, you're going to get the truth, and the truth is in quotations, but you're going to get the truth and the raw and real deal with us. Whereas other people are a lot more safe on YouTube, and people are just, saying whatever they can say to make money and stuff. But I'm like, dude, you guys are saying whatever you can say to make money. It's like, you guys have that same mindset, but it's just what you guys are doing is not working, And I think it's too late. It's too late for them to try to pivot and do anything else, because they've already made a name for themselves already, So
yeah, it's only a matter of time until they just fall off completely.
Yeah. I mean, the complete fall off will be when they're completely banned from YouTube, and with no chance of coming back. They get into that Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes like station in life where they have to actually build up their own website, or be in their own little corner of the internet, off major platforms. So
More than likely what they'll do is, like you said, Cam, they'll just make their own website and just make their own little space on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been on Cozy TV. I know that's like Nick Fuentes' like website and everything, but I've never ever visited it, because I think enough people talk about Nick Fuentes where it's like I can just know about him and what's going on by osmosis. I don't have to actually go seek it out. And same thing with like Andrew Tate and all those other guys and stuff. Like Andrew Tate is really just kind of, he's fallen off as well. I don't know if that was one of the videos I was actually going to bring up last night. So after the Charlie Kirk situation happened, Andrew Tate tried to capitalize on like a similar situation happened. I don't know if you guys heard about that. He tweeted that there was a guy that basically came to his house with a gun. Did you hear about that?
No.
It ended up being who? Andrew Tate. He had tweeted that somebody, there was a gunman outside of his house, whatever. And the security guards basically stopped him, and it was like a guy that was trying to, it ended up being a guy that had a BB gun, and he was trying to push like a crypto coin. He was trying to go viral by trying to like, I don't know, maybe plan an attack on the Tates, but like it wasn't like that, you know? Like it was a BB gun, it was a real gun and stuff. And there was like an audio recording of him saying, he's like, hey, you guys remember to push the coin or whatever, you know, or whatever. And yeah, he tried to go viral that way. But I was like, yeah, I just think that this was kind of orchestrated by the Tates to kind of like be like, hey, don't forget about us. Because, I mean.
Oh, yeah, because they're still trying to be relevant.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Exo Charles says Myron will not go down even if he gets banned on YouTube, but Fresh is another story. Well, you know, nobody really watches Fresh, you know. Like he's just that guy that's so goofy that we're like, okay, yeah, he's just not going to get a following at all, you know. Like he's going to get a couple people that are just, I don't know.
Bro, the numbers on his podcast were horrible.
Yeah, I mean, even with the view bots and stuff, that's completely obvious, you know. But like, yeah, I think he had like maybe like 30 people watching him, and then you know, I think Myron was running a stream at the same time. This is when he was in, I think, North Carolina, at the campus, and yeah, he had like a couple thousand, and I was like, it just kind of shows you like where the audience, at least for those guys, are at, you know, and
yeah, even Fresh knows, honestly, like. Yeah,
he's nothing with anybody else. He has to have other people with him in order to at least drive the show for him, while he just sits there with his sunglasses and you know, shakes his head. He just nods his head to whatever people saying. He needs an alpha in the room, you know, to just kind of like, you know, get the whole show going. And you know, thank God for like Gary the numbers guy and what's that other guy? God, I can't think of his name.
Don
Luker. Yeah, Don Luker. Thank you. Yeah, Don Luker's on there. He's got a little bit of a personality as well. And there's another guy that was on there that he's just he has his own thing. He usually does the
Mr. Organic.
Mr. Organic, that's another one. The guy I was talking about, he's a black guy, but he I guess you can call him a dating coach. He went on that panel with a couple other I guess pickup artists and stuff, and I covered him on the channel. And I don't know if you guys remember what I'm talking about.
What you're talking about.
He's been on the Fresh Start, or no, not the Fresh Start, the 305 podcast with Fresh and stuff, and yeah, he has a lot of ideas. You know, so as long as you have an idea, you know, or you have anything to say and stuff, Fresh will have you on just so that you can like fill time. Because it's like Fresh, he just needs somebody to be like, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, you know, or facts, you know. I'm just like, God, Fresh, just stop being in front of the camera, man. You know, it's like I don't hate him as a person, but I just hate him as a personality. You know,
yeah, it's not good.
I don't see how people like Fresh, man. People are just like, stop bullying him. I'm like, man, stop white knighting for Fresh, dude. He doesn't need you. Yeah, but
I mean, if he can't even rest on his own laurels, then he really should just leave the creator space.
Yeah, but what's he gonna do, man? What's he gonna do? Go back to Chick-fil-A? You know, go back to
that's his problem to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Something about that lifestyle. The Miami lifestyle, you know, boats and hoes and cars and chains and stuff. I don't know if he can drop all that, you know, and especially the hose, you know, like he's been doing that for so long. Yeah. I don't know if he could. He definitely doesn't have a mouthpiece. And I think that's kind of the funniest part. Like he tries to say like, oh, I have game. I actually have game, bro. And I still lose like 5 years of my life every time I even say Fresh in game in the same sentence. But when he is talking to girls online, it's like you can see the awkwardness. You can feel the secondhand embarrassment. And I was like, yeah, dude, this guy has absolutely zero sauce. You know, like he is just, if anything, he's going to be in the friend zone by the end of the night, you know? Because it's just he doesn't have any charisma whatsoever. You know, it's like girls they say randomly like, dude, yeah, he's like a 2 or a 3, you know, and thank God he's wearing sunshades, whatever, so you can hide those tears, you know, because otherwise he'd be welling up inside for real. Oh man. It's like, dude, the guy just needs to work out. He needs to work out. He doesn't just need to do like a 5-second video, short video of him like curling, because that's all he does. He just curls. I remember even Sneeko, he like exposed Fresh. He's like, dude, all this guy does is curling. He will curl for like 30 seconds, and he's like, yeah, I went to the gym. You know, it was just a photo op the whole time. It's like, who brings your
eating McDonald's too.
And eating McDonald's, dude? It's like, come on, man. You know your diet is like more than half of the exercise. You know. It doesn't matter what exercise you do if you're just stuffing burgers down, you know? He's like crap. You guys remember that clip with Tristan Tate and Fresh? And Fresh was like,
I actually saw that today.
He's like, dude, I eat like crap, bro. I just need to know what I need. And Chris is like, you know the funny thing is, you know what you need to do. You know you need to put down the McDonald's or whatever. And I was just like, dude, it's just like people just need their handheld, you know? And Fresh is one of those people, man.
But like honestly, dude, with me, it's just how disingenuous Fresh is. It's like he'll try to come off as that guy that has game and knows what he's doing and all this stuff, but then you can just see that that's just not the case. And it's like that's always been my biggest problem with him, bro, is like he's just not an honest person, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he likes to act like he's so mysterious, and he has all this access and stuff to all these like high-ranking social media outlets and stuff, and he has like his finger on the pulse of what's going on and everything. I'm like, bro, come on, man. It's like these people really don't know you. It's like, the people that you might have like seen them in passing, whatever, and maybe you had like a 5-second conversation, then you see them again and you're like humping their leg and everything, and you're like, oh, you got to come on the podcast. It's like, that's not networking, you know? You're literally just like glazing at this point. Yeah. and that's what you call networking? No, man, that's not it at all.
No, what we're doing is more networking.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because
we're actually having real conversations instead of just, oh, hey, man, you should come on and we'll hook you up with whatever we can. That's not really mingling.
Well, I mean, the Fresh and Fit Network is just a bunch of scammers anyway. You got like what's his face? Who, that one guy? Not the crypto guy, but the dating guy. What was his name? Because he was in the news. He's getting sued for like millions of dollars for a pyramid scheme. I know you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Fuck. Let me go. It was on Length of Girth. Let me see if I can find it. Listen, man. Hold on. Let me mute this shit.
We don't know each other, but literally.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
I can't remember the name.
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. Let me find it because I saw it on Length of Girth. Ty Lopez. Here it is. And his co-defendants have been charged by the SEC for misappropriating investor money and operating a Ponzi scheme. Lopez was a guest on Fresh and Fit. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Ty Lopez, Alexander Farhang Maher, and Maya Rose Birkenroad. This is their class action lawsuit. Yeah, there was more to it, but yeah, basically a pyramid scheme. And, people have been saying for years that Ty Lopez is a scammer, but it's like you have Ty Lopez, Saint and the Sinner. You got who else? There's a lot of other people that have the crypto guys. Who else? Just a lot of people, man. Hold on, I think. Oh, you know what? Let me play this Alex Jones thing. This thing I wanted to play last night. I'm going to play it tonight on tonight's stream since I thought it was a funny visual of Alex Jones with the mustache here, the mustache man. Let's listen to it. Hey Camp, do you mind if I join for a bit? Oh, Sonic. Yeah, absolutely, Sonic. Where are you at, sir?
Oh shit.
Yeah, man. Time to face the music.
The final boss.
Oh Jesus, here we go. Sonic, where are you, brother?
Hey Camp, did you see the debate between Myron and Destiny?
I saw the thumbnail. I didn't actually tune in though.
Yeah.
Was it any good?
I read the I haven't seen it, but I read the comments and people were calling Myron like a trust me bro.
Oh yeah.
You know what that is?
Yeah, it's like it's like bro science, like all of his facts
Yeah,
and
like,
statistics or whatever. Just like, dude, just
he would
trust me,
make
bro.
yeah,
Bro
exactly.
science? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Bro science, yeah, it's a thing, man.
Well, I'm just bringing
Sonic,
it up because
Sonic, I just sent you the link, sir, so you can join anytime, sir.
it's something that I've noticed he does a lot on his podcast too. Like he'll make a statement
Mm-hmm.
or like he'll say something in a debate, but he won't actually bring up like a source or like a study.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's had a couple girls on the show, and then the girls will be like, where are the stats for that? And he's like, it's just life, man. He's like, it's life experience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there you go. It's like if you were to flip that around and like, a girl is saying something and then Myron will say, well, where are the stats for that? She's like, that's just my experience. She's like, well, guess what? That might be your experience. You can't go off of your anecdotic experience, for the generality, It's like, you need to learn how to speak in general. That's exactly what Myron would say. That's because he said it many times. Sonic, are you here? Where are you at, sir?
Yeah, I just feel like in any debate you should have like.
Let me fix that. Hold on. It says we're at the max number of members. Let me fix that real quick. Sorry, sir. Go ahead, Kavos.
No, I was just saying like I feel like in any debate you should be ready to cite your sources and stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Sonic, what's
generalities are sorry.
You guys hear me?
But generalities are not something you should use. An average is okay as long as you could prove it. But generalities only work in specific circumstances, and I don't recommend using them, especially when you're live debating people who will fact check you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, anybody that goes against Myron and says like, well, that's not my reality, or that's not how things work, or I know plenty of people where that doesn't work, Myron will always counter it and say, well, the exception doesn't disapprove the rule. He always says that. And I'm just like, oh, man. Go ahead. Sonic, how you doing, sir?
What's up, bro?
Hello.
Uh-oh. Is he muted?
Doesn't look like it.
Is he getting his paperwork for me?
I don't know.
I can hear you, sir. Hold on. Let me boost you up a little bit. You sound a little low. Hold on. How far away from your mic are you, dude? Say something, Sonic.
Damn, I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us? We can hear you.
I can hear him slightly.
I can hear him slightly too.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me type in the chat. Make sure your audio source is correct. Usually, whenever I jump in from OBS to Discord, I usually have to switch some things around. This time I'm good, though. We can hear you, Sonic. Oh, let me message him. We can hear you.
But the whole rule thing, I don't like it either, Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is if you go by the scientific method, their rule this is the rule actually falls apart.
Did I just mute myself? Okay, so I'm sure that you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you guys. I don't know why.
Well, the stream can hear you. I can hear you.
I can hear him too.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Maybe tune into the stream and listen to us, and then maybe have that in your headphones, and then.
I don't know why this is always a thing.
I mean, it's only when you. I mean, I just fixed my audio, so we're good on this side. I can at least say that. I can't speak for last night, but tonight we're good.
Yeah.
Did you see this video? 304 and simp husband gets served by a ninja. 4.0 GPA scholar forced to defend himself from 2 jealous teachers. Have you seen this? I saw this. It was basically.
I don't think I have.
Okay, watch it on the stream. I'm gonna have it right here. Hold on. full screen it for you. So this lady right here is yelling at this black guy that's off screen, and then her husband comes in to kind of like defend her. And I don't even know what they're arguing about, but yeah, here we go.
Can you guys hear me? Because I can hear you guys now.
Yes,
I can hear you, Sonic.
I can hear you perfect, Sonic. Nice, nice. I knew it wasn't us.
It's easier to just blame you guys, honestly.
Sonic, what do you got to say, sir? Let's hear you out first.
Nothing, man. I saw you guys just like kind of just, talking, and I was like, hey, you know what, man? I want to join, just kind of have fun, like.
Dude, this is a test stream for the audio. I'm just really glad the audio got fixed, and unfortunately, the last stream cannot be salvaged, dude. I've listened to it twice now, and I'm just like, fuck, man. I'm not proud of that one at all. I'm actually thinking about just privating it, just so I mean, I don't want to delete it completely because I think there was some good back and forth between me and Vela, but I'm not really proud of it from a content creator standpoint.
You could definitely do it again.
Well, yeah, I did message him, and this, I think, hopefully, if he's free this Saturday, we can continue, because he sent me a picture. Oh, let me show this to you guys right now so you guys know I'm not bullshitting y'all. He said, where is it? He said, wait, where was that? My apology. Where was it? I think it was on my phone. How did he message? Oh, no. He put it on the general chat. That's where it was. Let me go to general real quick. He says, we didn't even talk about the ferret legging. He had a picture of like a ferret like biting somebody's finger. And I was like, well, we did cover the ferret legging allegations on the channel. remember that, Sonic? We did the research.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it. It's been a while, but
I remember it. I kept a record.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Sonic, where have you been, bro?
I just been trying to like create content. Like I've been like so obsessed with creating content, and I've also I've been like kind of working on like my business behind the scenes as well. So that's kind of like what I've been up to.
Sheesh, talking like fresh now.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
No, I know Mr. Sonic here is monetized, and he's just like he's got to make he's part of the machine now. So he's got to he's got to crank out content daily. And honestly, bro, the stuff you've been putting out is pretty good, man. I mean, I don't get to comment on majority of your videos because you put out so much. But I think I did comment on one of your most recent videos.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Also, I think Kavos, I think you meant like where have I been? Like, because are you asking like if I've been a part of the community with you guys, like, or?
Yeah, because I don't know. I thought you kind of stopped messing with us, you know?
Oh no, dude.
Yeah,
like,
he got monetized. And he was like, I don't need to mess with these bottom feeders.
Not even, dude.
No, I know, dude.
I'm always watching your guys' video. I'm always watching camp, but the thing is, I just don't talk, and that's kind of like the reason why I kind of wanted to join you guys. I was like, you know what, man? I feel like I gotta improve my social skills, so I'm like, let me join. And trust me, dude, I hesitated to even send that message. I didn't want to send it because I was like, I don't want to talk, but like, I'm like, I gotta like improve my social skills, you know? Because like, dude, I'm like a turtle, man. Like I'm really reclusive. I don't talk to anybody. So
yeah, I mean, especially now that you're getting paid. Especially now that you're getting paid to speak, Sonic. You definitely gotta work on your chops, sir. Not saying that you don't, dude. You already have it, bro. You know, it's.
Yeah, I've
you're
seen some
good.
of your videos, bro. They're pretty good.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
No. Have you met Tea and Toast with Ghost? Sonic?
No, I haven't. It's a pleasure.
That's me right here. Nice to meet you too,
man.
Sonic.
Thank you. Yeah. Me and Camp go way back, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
Like only like a couple months ago. I don't know.
Really? It's been about a year now. Yeah. I mean, we had a couple debates underneath our belts, and
yeah.
Those are still my favorite videos. I don't care how many views they get. Those are my favorite videos. I love debating with Sonic.
Yeah. And believe it or not, like that video I made yesterday, I think the gender roles, I was like, like I kind of wanted to make that video for you. I gave you a shout out in there, and I didn't add it because I was like, I don't think he's gonna watch this.
I did watch it. I did watch it. I wanted to correct your title because you said, what did you say? Something about women. You said woman and men gender roles, and I was like, women. in men general, because I think you singularize woman. You said woman. I don't know. Did you change that title? We can probably look it up and see if you changed it or not.
I didn't even check the. I haven't checked the comments.
Well, we can look at it right now and see if you did it. Mindscape. And let's see. Yeah, even women want traditional roles. Even women want traditional roles. That's what it should say. And I think if you look at the comment,
this philosophy entails that
I wrote even women in parentheses or quotation marks want traditional roles. Yeah.
Yeah, I just fixed it right now. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm always trying to help you out, sir, in whatever little way I can.
Yeah, no, dude. Like I made that video and I was like, hey, you know what, man? I kind of want to show some love to the people who want traditional gender roles. So I kind of wanted to just give like my interpretation of what people could have like, walked away with, Yeah, because usually like I'm begging on you guys because you guys are always like, we should go back to traditional roles, but I'm like, yeah, that's lame. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I want to show some love to you guys, so I was like, I want to.
Okay, I gotta stop you right there, Sonic. Saying that it's lame. Are you saying that you would rather be in a relationship where a woman is leading you rather than you're leading her?
I would rather be in a relationship where it's just kind of fluid, like where it's really flexible. That's
Gotcha. Okay.
But I also understand that only really works for some people like myself. It doesn't really work for the majority of the people. That's why like I'm like, I don't mind traditional roles, but I still think it's lame, but
So if you ask a girl on a date, I know we talked about this, but I would like to hear T and Toast and Ghost's opinion about this. If you were to ask a girl out on a date, would you kind of assume that you're going to be taking care of everything, like kind of paying for everything for the whole date?
No, I would. Oh, I mean,
Well, from my perspective here, Camp, it's a matter of how responsive she is. If she's actually participating in the date and you're having a good time, I'm not even talking about anything sexual here. I'm just saying that she's actually engaged instead of like that. She gives you like that 5 minutes and then she just pulls out her phone and she's just cruising through TikTok, DMing her friends on Instagram, whatever, that's, I don't advocate that guys, bitch women with bills, but if you actually go out of your way to actually ask someone out on a date and you expect the most basic respect from them, I'm not saying I expect her to be in my bed. No, I'm saying I ask you on the date, you say yes, and I expect you to be engaged in the date.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying all things are good. She likes you. You like her. You asked her out on a date. This is your first date. Do you pay for everything, or do you like go half and half, or do you expect for her to like pay for what she wants and you pay for what you want?
That's actually it would have to be in the moment for me, because I don't mind paying and I don't mind 50-50, but it kind of comes down to the moment, because in the past, I've had no problem just paying.
That's what I was getting at. I was going to ask you about your past. Like, what have you done in the past? Like your ex-wife, whatever, when you guys first got together, I'm assuming that you guys went on a couple dates initially, right?
Yeah.
Did you pay for everything, or did you go halvesies, or what?
For the first 2 dates, I actually paid, and then for the rest, before we got married, we did half.
But so you understand that like the whole, we like, as far as men, like we have to kind of invest up front first, right? To kind of show like good faith and what's the word? Leave a good impression, right? That we are competent enough to like, like, hey, I can take you out, like I can show you a good time and stuff like that. And that kind of involves me taking care of everything, right? I think it's like kind of like, it's kind of counterintuitive to like kind of ask someone out and be like, oh, well, I was just going to take care of myself if you could take care of yourself. It's kind of like, well, you're just kind of on like a friend hangout at that point. you know, and especially if you have certain goals for the relationship and maybe she did too, but because you're setting it up in this type of framework, you're kind of like making yourself to be like in kind of like a friend zone situation, you know?
Yeah. Yes, I do understand what you mean. I mean, you know, personally up front here, I would pay on the first date, but my idea of a first date nowadays is not, anything crazy. At most it's either drinks or maybe a place that does like light appetizers with it, or maybe even like kind of like a dessert place. I don't have a problem with that, but when we go sit down in a restaurant and it's first date, you're never going to catch me on a first date out at a restaurant.
And that's fine. That makes sense. Like the coffee date, appetizers, stuff like that, maybe even a lemonade.
Yep.
Like that makes sense. But Mr. Sonic, what is your perspective about that?
I think I agree with Ghost, although like my method.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Although my method, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure you're gonna laugh or you're gonna criticize me for this, Camp, because I know you. But like the thing is that I wouldn't put myself in that position, and I think that Kavos and Ghost would probably agree with me and say that, if you understand what you're capable of, you understand your principles and your limits, then you would approach it differently, So for instance, I don't have that philosophy like you do, where you want to pay on the first date or you would want to open the door for a woman or whatever the case is, or approach. Instead, what I would do is I would apply different mechanisms, such as, befriending her, getting to know her, and then like, inviting her out with friends. That's what I would do, and that's how I would get to know her, rather than going out and trying to pay or having an awkward moment where, both of us are looking at the bill, and then, we're kind of like playing rock, paper, scissors to see who's going to pay for it, so yeah.
Oh man. Kavos, what do you think, sir?
So I kind of agree with Sonic. I don't know. I just think since we are living in 2025 today, I think it's hard to be like fully traditional, because like things are just different now. So I just think I don't know. I agree with Sonic in a little bit, like a little bit. I'm not saying that it's lame to be traditional, but I just don't think you can be fully traditional, at least in 2025, because things are just so different now.
So what I'll say to this is that when you put a woman in a situation where she has to kind of pay her own way, in a way, I think it kind of masculinizes her in a way, or kind of puts her on equal footing with you. Whereas if you kind of come in as like the strong, like capable provider kind of male and stuff, not like fully like, hey, I'm going to go get you a car, I'm going to get you like a Fendi bag and all that stuff. Like, no, I'm just talking about like, I'm going to take care of the check, because I asked you out, and, we're going to go have some fun and stuff. And then I'm basically going to create this like really nice memory, and I don't really want you to kind of like worry about having to take care of it. I just want your company, That's all I want. I think a woman is like more susceptible to that type of behavior, because then she will kind of be a little bit more feminine in that type of situation. Whereas if, maybe if that situation where like she is against that, and she's like, no, she's like, I want to pay my way, I want to do this, and then she's like completely like immersed in this whole like feminism wave, like we're equal no matter what and stuff like that. I'm not saying if it goes that way, that those are the type of women that you invest in the long term with. I think that's all comes down to the situation playing out the way it is, and then you realize, okay, I know what type of girl that she is, and you could go either way with it. You'd be like, yeah, we could have fun, and see where it goes, or this can be like the first and last date, because now that I know that she's this type of girl, I know that that's not the kind of girl that I want to be with.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree that it's a little better, to get a better view of her when she's interacting with your friends and all of that, rather than like trying to take her to like a date?
I don't know, man. I think people are different around people. I mean, I think initially it would be good to, I mean, if it, because, a lot of work relationships happen this way, everybody like, they work together and then they're friends and then like they start hanging out outside of work and then, they start developing, deeper relationships from that. I think it could work in that type of scenario. But if it's like, you don't work together, you don't go to school together, you just kind of meet each other like randomly and stuff, I think it's still kind of good to do the isolation thing where like you kind of go on a date and everything, and then if you want to introduce her to your friends maybe like later down the line, maybe like a week or two like into you guys knowing each other, I don't see why not. But I think initially I think you kind of need to have your intentions kind of upfront and clear, because I don't think a woman likes a guy that is kind of like flippant, or what's the word, scared to kind of really ambiguous about their position. I don't think they like that. They like somebody that's a little bit more assertive, so
I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, if that's just the way you are and stuff like that, I mean, I'm not saying change who you are, because I don't want anybody to present themselves as something that they're not. I think we're all very naturally comfortable in being who we are, and if it's natural for you to be friends with someone first before developing something, and it works for you, by all means. Who am I to tell you that that's the wrong way to do things? If it works for you, it works for you. But I've found a lot of success in just kind of being after going after the things that I want. And sometimes you realize the thing that you wanted, it turns out that it's not what you wanted. You discover a couple red flags and you're like, okay, I'm glad I went through this experience, because it's better to to know than not know. And maybe even a person's feelings towards you is not the same as as initially it was. Maybe you guys were better off as friends. So I think it has to do a lot with timing, though, because I think a lot of young girls, especially, they think that time is on their side and that they have all these options and everything like that. And sometimes they're just like, I just want to really focus on my schooling and my career and everything, because I have dreams and I don't want to just like be beholden to a man and be all about, be on his program and stuff. I want to have my own program. And, but then you got girls that have done that for a couple of years and they realize that, hey, this world's pretty hard. It's not built for one person. It's like you kind of need that dual support to get through and pay for everything, because everything's so expensive now. And it's kind of nice when you got a guy that has his shit together and takes an interest in you and says, hey, I'd like to take you on a date. No strings attached. But I mean, yeah, just let me show you a good time. Girls are just like, they're more than happy to join in that, because they're like, okay, finally, I get a breath of fresh air. I don't have to because I'm out here trying to survive anyway. Women that are single are pretty much in survival mode. But when they get that opportunity to have a guy come around and sweep them off their feet, yeah, it's kind of nice, I would assume.
For sure.
I don't know. Maybe you disagree, but that's what this is for, right?
I mean, obviously, like I do. I'm not gonna even hide it. Yeah, I do disagree. But the thing is, I don't want to like dominate. I don't want to dominate the conversation. I don't want this to be like just the conversation, because I kind of want to hear from Kavos and Ghost as well, because I wanted to talk to him about some other stuff too. Like I know Kavos mentioned that that he's kind of having like a similar like situation as mine, where like kind of doesn't want to go out and talk with people. Or am I wrong about that? Do you want to go out?
No, you're correct.
Oh yeah. I have that I kind of have that problem, and I kind of wanted to like explore that, because I kind of want to see like from another person's perspective, like how they handle it, or like what have they been up to when it comes to that issue, So I kind of wanted to ask you, Kavos, like if you don't mind switching the topic, Camp.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm down for whatever, man.
Yeah, Kavos, I kind of want to ask you, like, when it comes to like socializing with people, like, are you aware of it? And if you are, like, what do you do about it, like, to like try to improve it?
Yeah, so like I'm definitely aware of it, and I mean, well, one of the ways I'm trying to improve is like even just coming up here to like talk to Camp, like I mean, there's been there'll be times where like he'll ask me, hey, like, do you want to come up and just talk? And it's not that I don't want to, You know what I mean? It's just I get that just that anxiety, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, I don't know, like even going on like TikTok and stuff, I'm just trying to like just talk more, because the only people I really talk to are my family and then maybe my friends and stuff, but like I don't really go out as much other than working, so
Yeah, I get you on that, man. I don't know if you have like this issue because like I have like this issue where like I constantly convince myself that like, because I'm always telling myself like I'm a lone wolf, I can do this on my own. Like I don't need anybody. Like I don't know if you ever have like that like perspective because that perspective plagues me. Like I like because of that I can't even like ask for help because like I feel like I got to do everything myself, and
yeah.
I think that's like a big like obstacle when it comes to socializing with people. I don't know if you have that.
Yeah, bro, definitely. No, I definitely get what you're saying, bro.
Yeah. That's like one of the biggest issues I have, man. Like even right now, like when it comes
Well,
to
you
like
don't
collaboration.
seem to have that issue. I mean, bro, you're making videos and stuff. Like I don't know. From me at least, from what I see from you, you seem pretty confident in like the things you say. So
Yo, I appreciate that. Yeah. And it's mainly because like I kind of live in this world. So I don't know if you noticed, but like anytime people like comments, like it's usually like hate comments. So it kind of makes it easier for me to kind of convince myself not to go into the comment section to reply. But like usually I don't go into the comment section to talk with people because like I kind of just live in my own world because oftentimes like whenever I have like a conversation with somebody, like they don't understand what I'm saying. So I always convince myself, like, oh, they don't understand what I'm saying. So I mean, I guess I'm free from commenting on people, but like that's kind of one of the things that holds me back, because I don't want to socialize with people. So I don't comment, and I convince myself in that way that I shouldn't comment, which is bad because I should comment.
I mean,
right.
yeah, especially if you're trying to grow, I think it's important to connect with anybody that's going to take the time to make a comment under one of your videos to at least, give them that response.
Yeah, and that kind of like I just like that about myself, because like I've gotten too comfortable with that. Like now I've convinced myself like I don't have to go back to the comment section since I've like gotten so many hate comments. But that's just it's a cop out, man. And I'm trying to like rectify that. And that's why I'm coming to you right now, Cam, because you have that skill. I'm kind of
Oh,
envy you.
dude, I
No,
go
it's not
back and
envy, but I
forth in
admire that.
comments, man. You see me? I go like 30 rounds, bro. I will go until somebody gets tired. I had this one guy, and he was hating on me, and he wouldn't let up. He just kept writing paragraph after paragraph. I'm like, bro, I got this all day, bro. Like I'm like, dude, I'm a redditor. It's like you think you're gonna put me down or put me away or make me quit and stuff? I'm never gonna quit. But no, it was just I don't remember what the topic was about. I think he was just like maybe defending Fresh and Fit, or maybe I think that's probably what it was. And you know me, I got all day for that. But no, I mean you don't run, you don't run from hate comments. You dive right in.
It's not even so much running from hate comments. It's that I don't want to engage with something that's gonna waste my time because I have engaged with comments, and whenever like I'm about to break down my like I want you to think about it this way, okay? So like I'm sitting here writing a comment, right? And it's a well detailed, thought out comment. It's taking me like 10 minutes to write, and then within like a minute or two, this guy replies with like the most like there's no logic to his argument, and I'm like bro, like really, like we're doing this, but at the same time, that's kind of like my fault, and I'm understanding that this is more of a me problem because I have to understand that like not everybody's gonna be able to break it down logically, like I have to try to like meet them halfway at least, and that's kind of like where I'm having problems.
Well,
I'm having
there is a
that
secret
struggle.
tool that a lot of these trolls have that I'm well aware about, and it's Chat GPT. So what they'll do is write in, or they'll copy and paste whatever your comment was, and say what is the perfect response to this, and then they'll paste whatever you wrote, and then Chat GPT will do that, and then they'll just copy and paste that, and then put that in your comment section, and boom, now you have to go up against that.
Do they really do that?
I've seen it done. So yeah,
I've heard of it too.
Yeah, so
They'll
I mean,
use
yeah, they're quick.
ChatGPT just to like write to say, "Oh, give me something about this," and then they'll just like copy and paste, and it's like that's ridiculous.
So it's not even like a genuine response to you. It's just it's an an algorithmic response to yours, and whether it's level-headed or if it covers anything that the topic was even about, it's going to kind of like whatever type of I guess direction they were trying to go with the response is what they're going to get presented with, and they get it back to you, and now you have to sort it out. So
I don't know. I guess it's just perspective. I just have to like shift my perspective on that because yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem for me.
I mean, or you can beat them at their same game and just like copy the response and chat GPT the response to that.
I could. But that comes off as like robotic, you know, or maybe I don't know. That's actually
it's fighting fire with fire, man. If that's what they're gonna do to you, that's what you can do back to them. I'm just saying, you got a lot of tools in your tool belt. And you know, if that's how they're gonna do you and stuff, you said sometimes maybe their responses don't even make sense. It could be that, you know, I'm just going off the details you told me, you know.
No, dude, like, and here's the thing, man. Sometimes, like, because you say that they use ChatGPT, unless they're saying like, unless they're asking ChatGPT to generate a stupid statement or something. You know, I doubt that they're using ChatGPT because, like, bro, like some of the logic. That
Okay.
Like, bro, like, how did you even come to that conclusion? You know, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you an example. Myron, okay, well, let's go off of Exo Charles's comment on the stream. It says, Myron will not go down even if he gets banned on YouTube, but fresh is another story. Let's take that comment. We're going to go into ChatGPT, and I'm going to just kind of show you so you know that I'm not bullshitting the process here. So if you're watching on stream, so Myron will not go down even if he gets banned on YouTube, but fresh is another story. I'm just going to, I don't know if I can copy that. Oh no, whoops. I'm an idiot. I need to go to the actual live stream. This is just an example, but let's just see if Chat GPT will do its thing. So I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'll even, instead of YT, I'll just put YouTube. Can you guys see what I'm doing on YouTube, on the stream?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a bit delayed, but it's there.
Okay. I will not go down. Okay. So I'm going to, in front of this, I'm going to put, write a witty remark. Yeah, write a witty remark. Remark. I can't spell remark. Do this. And then I'll do dash, boom. I'll just see what they say. Yeah, if Byron gets banned, he'll just pop back up like a bad Wi-Fi signal. Fresh, on the other hand, might disappear faster than your crypto gains in 2022. I mean, let's just, I'll just copy that, boom, go back to the chat, and then just paste it, boom. There it is. It was that fast, you know. So,
no, but that sounds like it makes too much sense though. Like
that's ChatGPT for you though. It's getting better and better. You know, I don't even know what version they're on right now, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. It's like, it's that easy. So if you have any type of what's it called? Even in your video title, they could just paste your video title and not even like watch your video and have a whole response for it, just based off of whatever ChatGPT came up with, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, man, a lot of people are relying on these AI, writing programs and stuff to make them sound smart, to help them get jobs, and people are so reliant on it. It's like an extension of themselves, you know?
That's crazy.
I mean, Camp, have you seen it wasn't a full video, but someone took a video of their professor, and, the professor went and took a bunch of the students' research papers and plugged it into Chat GPT, and he actually found like 80% of his class used Chat GPT to write their papers.
Well, and I know that I saw that video, and I also saw a counter response to that, where there's this app called Humanize, where they take the results from Chat GPT and they take out the words and they replace it with more human-like words, and it reduces the AI, I guess, detectability. So yeah, they have AI for the AI now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be scary to deal with doctors and lawyers and all that stuff in the future. You know, when we get old and need them, because they're all going to be Chat GPTing in the corner, the whatever whatever we need to help us out. Yeah. It's going to be tough, dude.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's going to get easier. You don't think so? I mean, like AI is going to be able to like precisely pinpoint where there's a developing tumor or something like that. You don't think so?
Oh no. That's gonna be fine. I'm just saying, like I guess until we get there, the people that are gonna be qualified in these positions and stuff that wrote their papers or whatever in college and stuff, and they use ChatGPT, to or what's the other one? Perplexity. There's a few others. But yeah, people that are using AI to write their resumes, write their term papers, write their, whatever to get the job and the position and stuff. And then once they have the job, they're still, using AI to, answer people's questions on the phone and stuff like that. I mean, who's to say? Who's to say that, if their job isn't automated yet by somebody, by an AI, then yeah, people are going to be using it like a tool anyway.
Yeah.
There's nobody's going to actually have any genuine expertise. we're all just going to be researching in the corner, and getting people to answer and making it seem like we know what we're talking about.
Did you say researching?
Researching.
No, you said researching. I heard you.
Maybe sorting and researching at the same time.
No. I heard
sorting,
I heard
sorting our research.
I heard you misspeak. You gotta own that.
You know what I meant, man. You know what I meant. Oh man.
Oh, yeah, you're right, man.
I mean, but dude, I think I think you're pretty good, man, when it comes to your commentary. I mean, I know you just need to be more live commentaries with us. I think that will probably help you out, at least thinking on your feet rather than working off of a script or editing out certain points and stuff. Because I'd love to see the uncut versions of your videos before you cut them all down.
There's a lot of dead space.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's what I do in my videos. I cut out a lot of the dead stuff because I use games in the background of my videos as B-roll, and then I just go along with it. So I end up cutting out a lot.
Oh yeah, Ghost. What kind of content you make? I today I was like the first time I heard about you creating content. What do you create?
I make videos about whatever subject catches my fancy. My later videos are better than some of my previous stuff. My first stuff compared to now, you can tell that I've improved a lot. But, I talk about whatever topics come to mind. My last video was about the real origin of the red pill, and it's,
I watched that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Dude,
and whatever topic comes to mind, is the one I'll do. I mean, the one I'm currently working on is about, why women are complaining that men don't pay attention to them. And, you could go on to the TikToks and, I go in and kind of show, what does the average guy look like? And, I even used the Google AI and showed that, your average guy is approximately 5 feet 9 inches tall and about 208 pounds. And then I went over to Google Images, and I even pulled up a Reddit picture, and this is 5. This is a 5 on the attractiveness scale in the United States. And if you go to other countries, it's going to be different, but we're just saying in general this is what it looks like in the United States. And it says approximately, so I kind of even it out by saying between 5'8" and 5'10", this is 5. And some women expect men to be, look more like you would see like a Hollywood action star. And it's like, this is, this is physically impossible.
You saw that American girl that went to South Korea to try to find her, like, the love of her life and stuff, and she saw that South Koreans aren't as, like, attractive as she thought. She thought she was getting catfished by the entire country. Did you see that shit?
Yeah, I saw it.
She was pretty disappointed. I was like, yeah, man.
I heard about that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know if it was real or not.
I mean, just like Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood, they bring forward and present the best of the best looking people. I mean, there's a few actors out there that are kind of average looking and stuff, but I think even average looking is kind of a marketable trait. you know, someone who is kind of has distinctive features, you know, absolutely. But I think someone who is like conventionally attractive, I think is kind of like the most sought after. But then when you have someone, depending on whatever story you're trying to tell, you know, having someone who's kind of like moderately, maybe even like not even attractive, just someone who kind of has like an everyday kind of look, you know, but is like a relatively unknown, that could be marketable as well. You know, it just all depends on what type of story you're trying to tell.
Yeah. And, you know, then I'm also going into how women view men as creepy. And, you know, I also put out the question, you know, do women find your average man more creepy than, you know, let's say like the traditionally attractive guys? And, you know, the answer to this is going to be yes. I mean, especially depending upon the guy's situation. I mean, if you're a guy who gets on a bus and let's say you do like grave swing where, you know, you go to work, you know, like 8 at night and you don't leave until 8 a.m., you know, and you're on public transit, you know, you're going home after work and, you know, depending upon what your job is, you know, you don't exactly look fresh and it's like, ew. And, you know, it's just, you can't make a generalization about what is and isn't creepy.
I mean, women on public transit are now going to have their alerts up now that what happened with that Irina Zarutska girl. I mean, that's a tragedy, you know, but I mean, yeah, that's probably the last place you should try anything, you know, in terms of trying to flirt with a girl is public transit.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, go ahead, Sonic.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, guys.
Okay. But, you know, the point is that you can't just sit here and say some guy's creepy just because, you know, how they're dressed. I mean, because before I even did this, I went and looked up, you know, a couple videos on men and women communication. And I also, you know, I watched Psych Hacks and a couple others. And, you know, women go off more by how the vibe, if you will, here of how you feel. And if you do that and you're just putting it out there like I'm miserable, leave me alone, you know, that generally pushes them more to the creep side too.
I have to a little bit disagree with you when it comes to like the way you're dressed, because I would say a man that's wearing like a 3-piece suit comparative to like a man that's like wearing a jumpsuit as a janitor, I would think like they would get totally different responses if they were to say, "Excuse me, miss," to a lady on a bus. You know, I think.
Well, Camp, I'm not talking about how they're dressed. I'm saying the vibe you get off, because when you're in when you're in the right settings, you know, let's say, just as an example, the four of us were actually sitting in a podcast studio and, you know, we're all just kind of laid back, relaxed, you know, we're chilling, you know, a woman's going to look at that situation and just kind of look at the four of us and be like, you know, they're not being creepy. They're just laid back, you know, maybe a little lazy. Because women tend to read more into the emotion of things. But, you know, as I was saying, you know, a guy who's, you know, maybe has gotten off of work and, you know, maybe he does like that midnight warehouse job. Because that's something what I do as a part of my full time. And, you know, you could be sitting on public transit and, you know, everybody's fresh. They're going out to their jobs when you're going home. You're tired. You're maybe a little frustrated. You know, maybe you got yelled at. And it kind of shows. And most women tend to steer away from that.
No,
I'm not talking about how you're dressed.
Okay.
It's about how you kind of, the vibe you put out to the world.
So a combination of factors, right? That like, you know, make a woman think that like this person is potentially creepy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Didn't they do that social experiment with the homeless guy? The homeless guy was basically, you know, he was wearing like, you know, tatters and rags and stuff like that, begging for change. And like, there were people that were giving him change and there were people that are like completely ignoring him. And then they had the guy that was wearing the suit that was like begging for help, you know, saying that, please, I just need like a couple dollars, whatever I need to like, I guess put gas in my car or whatever. And more people are more like accepting and more, you know, willing to help the guy in the suit than the homeless person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but yeah, it just kind of showed that, you know, the more, I guess, approachable you are, the more people are willing to help you. Whereas if, you know, if you're not that, I guess, what's the word? I guess like attractive or approachable, or, you know, maybe you look like destitute or something like that, people are more inclined to like ignore you or push you away. I don't know if that's like similar to what we're talking about, but what I was trying to equate it to is that, yeah, there are some guys that aren't aware of, you know, the way they present themselves. But I think we all have the ability to kind of clean up, you know, and, you know, get a haircut, you know, make sure, you know, our teeth are brushed and, you know, we're well groomed and everything like that. And then we also have, you know, nice clothes, maybe even, you know, like business casual and stuff like that. Anybody that's dressed in business casual looks a lot more approachable than somebody that's wearing like maybe, you know, ripped jeans and a t-shirt, you know?
Yeah.
So I think first impressions are very important when it comes to women, I think. You know, because women, they pick up on a lot more things than we do as men. You know, we really kind of look at, like, I guess, the features of a woman, where women, they look at everything. So, I don't know. I mean, a woman that's wearing like sweatpants at a gas station is going to get approached no matter what. Us wearing sweatpants at a gas station, yeah, we're going to look like, okay, this guy's a bum. You know?
Wait, but isn't it like I don't know? I've heard like women talk about how they want to see men in sweats because they find that like attractive. I don't
That's
know if you,
cap,
like,
dude.
ever heard that.
It's so cap, man.
Is that really cap though?
Yeah,
It
dude.
depends on the sweats though, no?
I think it depends on the individual, but I think for the most part it is cap, because there are some girls just like, you should never leave the house in sweatpants, and then there's some girls that are like, yeah, it's fine, you know, if you're like working out and stuff like that. But if that's just like your everyday wear, then yeah, that's a no-go.
No, I think that it depends, because if you're wearing like sweats that are like super baggy, then obviously that's going to give off the impression that this person doesn't really care about their appeal, right? But if it's sweats that are like tight, which I'm sure that women love, I'm sure that they're gonna have a different perception of you, you know.
Well, what's your experience been?
You walked them was.
I was gonna say, what's your experience been with walking around in tight sweatpants, Sonic?
I see what you're trying to do.
I mean, you said that women, you know, a little bit more accepting of the tight sweatpants. I was just wanting to know, what was your experience with that?
Tight,
like nut huggers is what we're talking about.
Well, Cam, I know where Sonic's coming from here. It's basically, are you wearing something that actually looks like it fits you compared to just you're walking around in baggy clothes because whatever reason? You know, I know people who like baggy, and there are people who just view it as complete trashy. So I understand where Sonic's comes from, and I understand where you're coming from. It's just in the style that baggy comes from, you know, the general view is not good. So I do get where you're both coming from here.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, it's all perception at that point. But, you know, a guy who actually looks like he goes to the gym, and, you know, he actually looks like he cleans his, you know, washes his clothes. You know, that's going to be a lot more approachable to women than a guy who doesn't look like it.
No, I get it. I mean, I think baggy clothes, it kind of gives like a slop factor, you know. I mean, you look sloppy, and whereas if you're walking around and, you know, maybe I'm not saying like Speedo pants, you know, I'm not talking about like, you know, swimming trunks or whatever like that. You know, seasonal wear, you know, people, they wear seasonal wear all season long. You know, and then you got.
Doesn't it depend on like the time of day too? Because if it's like 3 in the morning and you're just going to the gas station to pick something up, I mean, I think it's understandable that a guy's just gonna put on like some sweatpants or something, you know.
I think that's definitely I will consider that as a factor. Absolutely, I've seen plenty of people at Quick Trip in their fucking pajamas, and I'm just like, geez, it's rough, man.
I'll admit.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Sonic.
No, he's gonna admit something. Let him admit it. Let him admit it.
Oh, you want that? You want that? You definitely want that.
I want it, dude. Now that we can hear it, dude. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, I will admit this. All right. I actually use sweats constantly. That's actually my style, and it's not like these like baggy type of style of sweats. It's actually like, you know, pretty tight, right? I use it because, well, like, you know, women talk to me more, so why not, right?
Oh shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason why. That's the only reason why I wear them. Yeah, it's definitely for the women.
It's a conversation starter, right?
It's not a conversation starter, but I feel like going off of a Ghost's premise, it definitely does allow a conversation to occur because it does like this wear that I have, it looks good. And so like to a person, especially a woman, like they perceive that as like, oh, this person cares about his look, you know? Even though in their mind they're probably not thinking about sweats, they're thinking about, oh, this guy looks sharp, you know, because of how like his figure shows, you know. So
hey man, you got it, flaunt it, right?
Yeah. Well, back on to Kavos was saying, where I work is not where I was originally, but little quick story from my job. It's been about 2 years since I last saw this person. You know, we got a new hire at my job, and she constantly wore, you know, somewhat baggy pants, but she always wore white tank tops. And I had a good work friend who we'd often make jokes about stuff. And we were watching her one day, and we were kind of watching her what she was doing. We're like, when it gets summer and she starts sweating a lot, because I still work in that kind of warehouse job, but when it gets to summer, and we both noticed that when she got closer, she wasn't wearing like full clothes. She just wore a tank top that is that people commonly call a wife beater. And there was a lot of talk amongst us, because it's like, as soon as summer comes around and she starts sweating, is that thing going to become see-through? And we were all kind of worried about it, because our job has a very bar that says, don't do anything, don't make anything like this, blah blah blah. And we were all a bit worried that if her clothes on the top became see-through, what would we see? And we didn't want to get in trouble. And sure enough, as soon as summer comes around and she starts sweating, her clothes did become somewhat see-through. It wasn't 100% see-through, but it was somewhat see-through. And we could see that her nipples were actually pierced. And I wasn't the only one, and my friend wasn't the only one who complained about her to management. But they said that management said, well, she's not in violation of the dress code, she is fully covered. And there was a talk between me and my friend, what would they do if we showed up wearing Speedos with ashless chaps on, and basically like the cowboy vest? Would they send us home, even though technically we were within dress code?
So did you do it?
No, we didn't do it, but we were kind of wondering, would they give us the same treatment?
I mean, I wouldn't have complained. I wouldn't have even been worried, like the whole woman wearing a tank top and stuff like that. I was just like, okay, like if she's not, if she were. Well, you said, I thought you said that you guys were worried about like whenever she sweated, and then also you said one of you guys complained, or both of you guys complained to management about it, and then they said that there was no issue.
Well, it wasn't just us that were worried about it, because I believe, if memory serves, a lot of us were worried about not necessarily Me Too, but some people had been worried about complaints going around. And where my job is, it's there's a lot of men that work there, because it's a warehouse job, but there are women who do work there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those environments where one domino falls, and the next thing you know, it's just going to go out of control. And that's what we were actually worried about. But
somebody says something like inappropriate to the woman, and then they get fired, and then like or a bunch of people say something and a bunch of people get fired. Is that what we're worried about?
Well, it was the domino effect that, if she complained about one person and then, it gets around that, a bunch of other guys were complaining about this, it's like, why were you complaining? And it's like, well, look what happened to this guy. We were just trying to cover our bases to a degree. And, we were just we kind of played with the idea, if we did, kind of, the most, appropriate way we could, do this, because, we had full leg coverings, we had we had our work boots on, and, we had, everything covered that was, necessary. What would they do?
Gotcha.
And so, it was, it wasn't, if, it's a matter of when. And, I spoke to her later, and apparently she's dating some guy in Germany. I haven't seen her in a few years because other things. In a way, I got promoted. But, there is that concern.
And, what about, were there like female bosses there that possibly could talk to her? Because, like whenever it's like a female employee, it's like you can't just have like a male, or like, because what I've dealt with is women that like smell bad, and you can't have like a male manager go to a woman and say, like, hey, you smell bad. You have to have like a female manager do it, So in your situation, did they have like a female manager that you could like voice this complaint to, and she could say something about it? Or was it all men?
Well, no, some management are women, and, we did have a female manager at the time, and a couple of the more senior guys actually went to spoke to her, and they basically got told the same thing.
Not to worry about it.
They didn't want to. Well, they didn't know. We were pretty sure they didn't want to rock the boat.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So it was, it was just, how, the idea was, well, if we do something similar, would we get the same treatment? And a lot of us thought the answer to that would be no.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like you pose that question, but that you would not feel comfortable, coming up to work like that.
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't know. It kind of feels like it is a what if scenario, but it's not something that would actually play out, or something that you would want to play out, in terms of the what if scenario. So it's like, I think the real question is like, what are the limits to what people can wear? Because it seems that this person right here in the white tank top that's getting a little sweaty and stuff like that, they're kind of riding the line a little bit. It just seems like that was the whole concern. I don't know. I mean, in most places that I worked at, it's like you have to kind of have like, your shoulders covered, especially if you're in a warehouse for like safety reasons and stuff. But I guess, I don't know, maybe at different places, different companies have different regulations.
Yeah.
So,
but, it's just, it kind of varies from place to place.
Interesting.
Hey, all right, guys. I'm about to get off right now. I gotta go out and eat right now. So, yeah, I wish I could stay longer though, because this is a pretty good conversation.
Well, Sonic, I hope you have a good night, man. And I don't. If you wanted to maybe jump in the next stream, you're always welcome. You're always welcome here, sir.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to jump in next stream because I still have a lot of questions that I want to ask you about VillaTube. Or is it VillaTube?
VillaTube. Yeah.
VillaTube.
You guys were butchering his name last night. It was pretty funny. I was like, some people were saying VTube. I was like, he's not a VTuber. But yeah, man. Definitely come on out, sir. You're always welcome.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys. Hey, thank you guys for having me, Ghost and Kavos. I appreciate you guys tolerating me, man.
No problem. Sonic. You have a good night.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Peace.
Take it easy. Yeah, man. I think this Tuesday, I'm gonna be off, depending on what's going on in the day. If I have time to maybe do a stream, I might do a stream on Tuesday. So no promises, but we'll see what happens. And then, but of course, this Saturday, definitely I'll have time to get it going. Who is this? Is this Exo Charles?
Yep.
What's up, sir? How are you, sir? Oh, I think he's muted. You're muted, sir. Did I fix that? Why is it just... Hold on. Why does it just do ... for the name? Why? Oh, because I think I have it on that mode where like it doesn't show the person's name when I'm streaming. I think that's what it is. Gotcha. Unmute yourself, sir, if you'd like to speak.
He says he's just listening.
Oh, he did? Where do you say that?
Yeah,
he said that in the...
It's in announcements.
Oh, got you. Okay. All right. I'll allow it. Is there anything else, man? I mean, I kind of want to like rehash what I was going to talk about last night because, you know, that was such a trash stream last night in terms of, you know, where it kind of went off the rails. There was some stuff I wanted to cover. Let's go back to this video. This guy that basically had this conflict with these two people in, I think it's like a gas station. It looks like a gas station. This was definitely on theme for last night since, you know, we did have that conversation with Villa, you know, little confrontations. I'm sure he has things going on in his store, probably not as exciting as this, but this is definitely something I want to show you guys. So here it is. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Okay.
Talking to the wrong nigga, bitch! You talking to the wrong nigga, bitch!
Don't touch me.
Ain't nobody touching you.
I didn't touch you.
Get the fuck out my face.
I don't touch you, bitch. I didn't touch you. You drunk ass bitch.
You's a bitch.
You drunk ass bitch.
You's a bitch.
Go get your nigga, cause I'll slap you in here.
You's a bitch.
You in here trying to harass him, bitch. You in here?
You's a bitch.
I'll slap this bitch. I'll slap this bitch. Yeah, get your bitch or I'll slap her.
You's a bitch.
I'll kill you, nigga. Nigga, I just tried to...
Hey, Cam.
Yo.
Isn't there any way you could like show the video like here on Discord or like your stream?
I think so. Let me see. Let's go on Discord.
I think you did that last time.
Let's try it. Let's go to an activity. Go to YouTube. The thing is, that was on YouTube. I don't know if this is on YouTube. I think it was only on Reddit. That's the problem. Let me see if it was on. Was this on? Yeah, I don't think this was on YouTube. Oh, you know what? I'll do share the screen. That's what it was. Let me go. Let me see. Share your screen. Entire screen. This one. Okay, this should work. Hopefully. Let me know if you see it. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me know if you can hear it.
Talking to the wrong nigga, bitch! You talking to the wrong nigga, bitch!
Don't touch me.
Ain't nobody touching you.
I didn't touch you.
Get the fuck out my face.
I don't touch you, bitch. I didn't touch you. You drunk ass bitch.
You's a bitch.
You drunk ass bitch.
You's a bitch.
Go get your nigga, cause I'll slap you in here.
You's a bitch.
You in here trying to harass him, bitch. You in here?
You's a bitch.
I'll slap this bitch.
Oh no.
I'll slap this
okay.
bitch. Yeah, get your bitch or I'll slap her.
You's a bitch, bitch.
I'll kill you, nigga. Nigga, I just tried to... What the fuck wrong? I'll slap you.
Ain't you not doing shit.
What the fuck wrong with y'all? What the fuck wrong with y'all? Get out here. I'll slap the fuck out both y'all. All right, enough. Fuck wrong with y'all. Fuck wrong with you, bitch ass nigga? I tried to help you. I tried to help you. I tried to help you, dumb ass nigga. I tried to help you. I love you, dude. I tried to help you. Stop, girl. Stop. I tried to help you. I tried to help you. I tried to help you.
Fuck you, bitch.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't touch me. How about that? Yeah. What I want to do? Stop, bro.
Yo, let him go. Let him go. They tired. They tired. Oh,
stop, bitch. Fuck wrong with you, nigga?
Jesus.
Fuck wrong with y'all?
Ooh, that hurt.
That was.
I felt that one.
That looks like.
You're the pussy ass bitch.
This kid's a guy now. Look at you. Stop. Just stop.
You suck your own dick, bitch.
Stop, right?
You be sucking your dick. Why you doing that?
Still talking trash.
Oh, she got a nut.
She day drunk or something?
She got a nut on her shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she started all that.
I
No,
mean,
she definitely.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like she was talking mad trash in the beginning, and then the guy like got like his balls and said like the N word, whatever. And I'm just like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like this, you're about to get embarrassed. And yeah, as soon as the guy got knocked down, he was just like, "Yo, man, I love you, man. I love you." I'm just like, it's too late for that, man. Too late for that. Oh man, that was tough. Oh, and this stuff right here. You can see this. This is the Alex Jones mustache video. We got to check this one out.
I went in a grocery store this morning, and it was spectacular. Being a white guy that has German features, classical German features, and with a Hitler mustache, and it was very interesting. I could tell you it had a wild effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me. And they didn't know why. They were looking at me because most modern women, even young ones, don't really even know even what Hitler is, but they in the back of their head, they know what it is. So they got a guy with, kind of Lex Luthor meets Adolf Hitler looks with blue eyes, and they just didn't know what to do. They're like melting.
It's like, what's going on?
No.
Oh man, it's like, dude, is there any other question why he lost his account within like 12 hours? it's like, come on, man, these guys. What was the oh yeah, I want to go to that thing I was going to show you guys last night. It was, I almost got to like go back and reference my own video in terms of like what my topics were, because I had 3 of them. One was by
weren't you going to show the Stevie and ABBA?
Yes, yeah, the Stevie and ABBA debate. That was something. Hodge twins look really bad. Oh yeah,
I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, okay, so it was Hodge twins, Candace Owens basically bringing forward her stuff on the FBI about Charlie Kirk, and then mainly the shooter, because I guess the shooter was seen at like a Dairy Queen like 17 minutes away from the actual school, and it just kind of doesn't coincide with the alibi that he had, and also the footage. That, well, I guess there was like some camera that was set up behind Charlie Kirk at that table, and almost immediately after the shot was taken, there was a guy there that went to get the SIM card out of the camera, and because they said they didn't want it to get, I guess, like confiscated or whatever. But there's a lot of questions about that, like why did they do that? Let me find that one thing about Abba and Preach with the thing. So there's 2 videos. There's one about they did a follow-up video that's like a lot. It's like 10 minutes, whatever. It's basically kind of follow-up. But this one is they're talking about Charlie Kirk. It's like an hour.
Yeah.
This is the started. So Stevie, you watched our video and you had some critiques for it. So yeah, let me know.
Are you guys familiar with Stevie Knight?
Yeah, I am. I know who he is.
Okay, yeah, because he basically does a lot of like music breakdowns. Like he'll do like lyrical videos and stuff. Talking like he'll cover like an Eminem song or like a Joyner Lucas song, and he'll like break down the bars. He's really good at that. And he also has a channel called Night Talk where he talks a little bit more about like current events and stuff going on, and he has a couple of videos on there about like Red Pill, Candace Owens, stuff like that. But this whole Charlie Kirk situation, he kind of took a stance about a specific stance about how people, it's wrong to celebrate his death and stuff, and he was really he thought it was just in poor taste, people trying to capitalize off of the situation, and he kind of felt like Candace Owens was one of those people as well that was kind of making multiple videos, making money off of this whole situation, and now she's like kind of gone the conspiracy angle, with the whole FBI releasing these like doctored text messages between Tyler Robinson and his roommate, and how the interactions just felt so unnatural. And but then also again with the the people that were at the TPUSA event, she knew a lot of people and had a lot of connections to the people that were actually there at the Charlie Kirk event. And so she was able to speak to the people that were grabbing the camera that was behind Charlie Kirk and, you know, really explain themselves, like, what were they doing? Like, why were they grabbing the SIM card out of it? You know, because it probably would have gotten a good angle of everything that happened. And then Candace said that she was able to get to view that footage, and she says it wasn't gory or anything like that, and it wasn't really that good of an angle, but it just seemed kind of suspicious that they try to hide it in the first place, or not hide it, but I guess try to get it before anybody else got it. I don't know.
That's strange.
Yeah, I thought so too. But you know, I don't really know what Candace Owens' whole motive of this whole thing, because it kind of seems like the more that she's going to try to like be like a whistleblower on like, hey, maybe Tyler Robinson was just the fall guy, and maybe, you know, there was maybe the real guy still out there. It's like you're kind of putting yourself on you know, target on your back, because you have such a, you know, large platform. A lot of people know who you are, and you know, maybe you're kind of putting yourself at risk, you know, doing this, covering this whole topic. So, but yeah, this is the debate on Charlie Kirk. If you guys want me to pause it or anything, you have anything to say, let me know.
What you think we was getting wrong in regards to how we handled this Charlie Kirk situation?
Well, I want to keep what I felt was wrong towards the end, but you know, leading up to that, just think it's a differing in opinions, which is fine. That's what we're here for, man. But they, if I can recall correctly, the beginning of it, it was more like a you were talking about how the right wants to, or we need to tone it down, or I don't want to say we, right? It was more like focusing on the right versus the left. You know what I mean? And you felt a way about, I'm assuming what your intent was, is focus on the right. Now we need to tone it down, and we're doing the same thing that the left was doing, bro. And you know, where I differ in opinion with you as far as this whole situation is that I don't think anything should be toned down if we're highlighting, if we're focusing on the right people. You know what I'm saying? I think that the right versus left is being overhyped, which makes sense, because we're divisive as hell in society, man. But you know, the demons are demoning. You know what I mean? And regardless if it's right or left, I feel like, you know, these people need to be held accountable, and we need to zero in on these individuals. And I don't think a toning down at all will work, given the climate.
Okay.
And you know, I'm not gonna say I felt some type of way at the beginning when we're focusing on, like, the emphasis of your video was to highlight Charlie, and then you were trying to compare it to other things that may have happened that were similar.
Sure.
And I think that's taking attention away from, you know, the elephant in the room, which is Charlie Kirk situation, which we never had a situation like this happen ever, you know, because of the social media and the fact that everyone was able to see it. You know what I'm saying? And that makes the situation a whole lot different than anything that's happened in the past as far as a murder of this magnitude. And, you know, it seems that you were minimizing the impact of what happened to Charlie.
Okay.
And
what?
And
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna keep rolling out. I'll let you.
No, go for it. If you're still on this one, I just didn't want to move from this topic, but
I don't want to roll out like 10 things and have you.
Yeah. It's always better to go point by point. I think so.
Yeah, maybe we should go one for one.
Yeah.
So, it felt like, from my end, it felt like it was a right versus left type of thing, and you know what I mean. From how you were describing it, you know, right's doing this, the left's doing this, and you're saying it's hypocritical of the right to be complaining about the same things that the left is doing, or what the right is implying that we're doing. And to me, it shouldn't be about that. It should be about, we isolate, you know, the evil, the degenerate shit that's going on. And when we try to minimize or just bring up the comparison between Charlie Kirk and everything else, it minimizes the tragedy that everyone just witnessed and like the impact it had on everyone, man. So I feel like it's deflecting from it, and it's like you know, Charlie Kirk, his tragedy was important, but other things has happened, and the right was doing the same thing. So it's kind of like No, it is to me. It's minimizing, what happened.
Got you. So I think there's 2 points in there. One being the hyper focusing on right versus left. You felt like we did that too much. And the second part is minimizing Charlie Dess's murder. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to go to the first point, I did have that in my notes. I think in your video at around 2-minute mark, you said that I was minimizing Charlie Kirk's murder by comparing it to other political violences or like contextualizing it in the way that I was doing.
Kavos said, "Hey Cam, I got a bounce. Thanks for having me on the stream, man." Oh yeah, dude. Appreciate you coming out, dude. Thanks, man. Peace out.
Oh, I didn't know Kavos had to bounce.
Yeah, he just messaged on the chat just now.
Minimizing it. I disagree with that characterization for a few reasons. I think it's natural when someone dies that we try to understand why. That's why people love murder mystery. That's why people, every time someone dies, they want to know who the perpetrator is. They want to know who their motivations are, because murder is generally something that we see as incredibly heinous. And so understanding what led to that is always important. When I'm not comparing, this is not the right word. What I'm doing is that I'm explaining away how our society led to this moment and this man, because he wasn't murdered in a vacuum. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was an individual who's incredibly troubled, and he decided to go out and murder somebody for their political opinions, their affiliation, maybe because they had mentally ill issues. Who knows? But there's a landscape, and there's a lot of things that lead up to this murder. It's always important to examine these things, because if we don't understand how we got here, then we're going to be doomed to repeat it. It's never, in my opinion, a bad thing to contextualize any world event, provided you contextualize it fully, right? Or at least you try to, because without context, then all that happened was that someone was shot. Context is everything.
So I don't know what you think about this, but I watched Alvin Preach's coverage of the whole Charlie Kirk situation, and I did think it was a fair assessment. I think the fact that Stevie has such contention with it, I think that Abba and Preach, they were asking a lot of questions in terms of like the motivation of the kill, rather than just kind of just being absorbed by the entire incident, as it was, rather than they already kind of moved on from that and just were asking, questions of like motivation and, what would drive somebody to do something like this. And I mean, I think the fact that the assassination was so public and so like readily available on social media for anybody to see. I mean, it's still available to see to anybody, it was so graphic, and it's kind of like, it kind of takes away a little bit of our humanity a little bit, in terms of like, we're not supposed to be seeing stuff like that, and it's something that, little kids definitely should not be exposed to that. But like I said, it's all over social media, it's all over Facebook, Instagram, stuff that all these little kids have. And it was just, I think that's kind of how it has really affected the impact, because it was just so readily available for everybody to see.
Yeah, it's not good or any measure to actually get exposed to that. I mean, I already told you that I know of military personnel who were on fairly hardcore drugs because they couldn't deal with what they saw in Afghanistan or Iraq. It's not good for anybody, to be perfectly honest.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that a lot of that stuff would kind of be pushed towards like, Reddit threads and, like, I don't know, faces of death type sites, whatever, that have that stuff that's readily available. But it shouldn't be on like, you shouldn't be able to post it on like social media, it should like automatically be flagged for like, inappropriate age, just not good, to be putting on platforms that have like young kids on there,
Yeah.
So, because I'm still, I mean, dude, I think I went on, I think Instagram today, and people are still breaking down the, people are saying that, there was a person that had a device that I guess that was like in the front row of Charlie Kirk. And as soon as like, before the shot came out, that he like dropped like some device, like he was hanging his hand like over the guardrail or whatever. And he just like pressed a button, and then like he released it. And people are saying that the trajectory of the bullet, it actually came from behind his head, and like the thing that came out of his neck was actually an exit wound, and that's why it was all that it kind of came out the way it did. But I don't know what to believe, man. I'm just hearing all this information, and like I'm no expert, especially not a weapons expert and stuff like that, to be able to look at a video and say, oh yeah, he was definitely for sure shot from behind rather than in front, and whether
the only problem with a high powered rifle going through certain parts of the body is that doing that immediately slows down the bullet's process. And assuming that this wasn't a high caliber, high powerful rifle, it might, if it's powerful enough, if it was behind Charlie and it went through him that way, then it should have hit somebody else. But as far as I know, he was the only one who was hit.
Right. Yeah.
So that, but I didn't get to see if there was just one entry or not. All I saw was the clip of just before, and then you watch as he goes into shock and falls, and then there's just the squirt of blood, and it's just like, okay,
right.
I could definitely see where one is, but I haven't seen anything behind that.
So people are saying that like, why would his shirt pop up the way it did, and like I don't have any answers for that, like I don't know. But that's what people are they're trying to piece together. They're like, if he was shot from behind, maybe that would affect something, maybe, I don't know, but
no,
I don't know.
No.
I don't even want to pretend to even have like any type of stance on or have any know-how. I have no firm grasp of it. I view the footage just like everybody else, and I'm not. I don't know. I have no words in terms of what could have happened, or if we're being deceived or whatever. I do not know. But
just from what I've seen, what I've seen, I don't see any indication that it was a heavier round or a higher powered rifle. From what I've heard, it was a 308, and the guy was 200 yards away. So an entrance wound makes sense, and unless he was a really good shot and he managed to go through the points of least resistance, there might have been an exit wound on the back. But most rounds that go in a person tend to stay in the person, unless there's a couple situations where some people have thin membranes in parts of their body, and that can cause it to go through, or it's on the very peripheral side of an arm or a leg. And assuming that the person isn't a gym rat who's got huge biceps and stuff, normally that'll go through. But it's not that there isn't structures there. It's that it's just too shallow to actually stop the round.
Right. Well, that's the thing, man. So, I don't know anything about bullets and how they will stop once they enter the body and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen a couple of videos of when you shoot bullets into water and like that the bullet trace path and stuff, and how that gets altered and everything. But I don't know, man. And, it's like I can't tell you if it was an exit wound or if it was an entry wound or where the shot could have came from and stuff. But there's a lot of theories out there, and a lot of people are just a lot of people, I guess, because of the desensitization of violence, and then also the rise of AI, and people don't know what's real anymore. Yeah, people are gonna naturally be question. What's the word? Skeptical. Thank you. So right here, this is the video I was going to tell you about. Candace Owens. She was sent like a video about what's his face, Tyler Robinson. This was him 17 minutes away at the Dairy Queen wearing, I guess, the same clothes that he had, I guess. And then I guess there was a comparison photo of the shooter that was on the surveillance footage and then Tyler Robinson, and their lips didn't look the same. Like the nose didn't look the same, the chin didn't look the same. And a lot of people are just suggesting that, yeah, he was just the fall guy, you know? And they've already done the I guess the trial for him. Like, it was a very speedy trial, and they've already given him like the death penalty and stuff. They already decided all that. So, I mean, as far as like the public courts are concerned, they've gotten their guy and it's over and done with, and there should be no more investigation. But there are people that are still asking questions.
That is strange that it was that fast.
Well, I remember Trump. Trump said that he was going to push for a speedy trial, you know, because he was invested in Charlie Kirk and stuff. And then, you know, for that to happen the way it did, he was just like, yeah, I mean, in terms of like, you know, justice for the family, he was like, yeah, we're gonna do a speedy trial. Exo Charles says, what do you think about Candace Owens? Honestly, man, I don't really have an opinion about her yet. I really only, you know, seen a couple things about her. I think she might be like an opportunist in a way. Some people have said that she is what's it called? Like an industry plant for like white supremacy or whatever, you know, like she is but honestly, I don't know if any of that stuff is true. But before I go any further, this is the video I was talking about where she's talking about
sometimes.
Oh, hold on. The exclusive image that she was talking about, Tyler Robinson being away from the school, I guess, maybe like 17 minutes away at a Dairy Queen. So this is the video.
Things don't go as planned. Because before people realize they have anything, or maybe when they're trying to reach out to the feds, they're texting a friend who texts a friend. And the next thing you know, the whole neighborhood in all of Orem has something. And this is what happened. Something made its way around the entire town and into my tips line repeatedly. It is a very clear image of Tyler Robinson, allegedly taken, I'll say allegedly for safety here, but it's looking right according to my timeline, allegedly taken at 6:38 p.m. at a nearby Dairy Queen. Here is that photo that we can show you. Just take a look at this photo. What is wrong with this picture? A lot is wrong with this picture. First and foremost, 6:38 p.m., you just shot someone. You have gone through great pains to hide your face, to change your outfit. But wait, you didn't fully change your outfit, did you? I'm looking at this photo, and you're wearing jeans and you're wearing the maroon shirt. Now we have a 50-50 combo of the outfits. And now you're showing your eyes and you're not fearful at all that you might be recognized. Also, wow, you must have quite the stomach. You don't have a record. Next thing you know, you shoot someone and you're like, I'm just going to go have a meal. You don't seem to be too shaken or too upset. Something problematic is the location, by the way. We mapped this out. It's about 15 minutes away from the campus at a time when we're told that he's idling by, babysitting the rifle. So you can see, we're showing you, it's about a 17-minute drive away from the campus. So there should be a lot of footage then of this Dodge Challenger driving back and forth. Okay. And like I said, the biggest thing that jumps at me is he looks kind of content there. So he's got to be a full-blown psychopath wearing half of what the feds told us he was wearing in the morning and half of what the feds told us that he was wearing during the shooting. Okay, so why did he text in this exchange at all and say that he changed outfits? When you've just said, I changed my t-shirt, if that's the reality, you just changed your t-shirt and that was enough? Was it just a t-shirt that he changed? The outfit, again, as I sensed yesterday, has always been problematic. I feel the outfit was the Fed mistake. We can now plot this change, this alleged Dairy Queen stop, onto our timeline. We said the first correspondence that allegedly took place between these two had to have taken place between Tyler and Lance after 6 o'clock p.m. Well, there.
All right, hold on. Let me read this real quick. 4:21 p.m. Kash Patel tweets, The subject is now in custody. 5:30 p.m. press conference by Governor Cox. 12 minutes into press conference, Cox mentions the suspect was wearing all dark clothing and a person of interest being questioned. 5:59 p.m. Kash Patel tweets, subject in custody has been released. Our investigation continues. After 6 p.m., the first correspondence have taken place between Tyler and Lance. I guess those are the text messages. And then 6:38 p.m., a confirmed photo of Tyler Robinson buying food at a Dairy Queen off campus at Orem on the other side of town. Second messages between Tyler and Lance. And then 7 p.m. earliest, Tyler Robinson signifies he is still very close to the scene of the crime. Where is the footage of his vehicle? This is something the feds can surely release. Tyler Robinson is presumably driving around close to the scene. He is 3 to 4 hours away from his apartment in St. George. Surely the feds can release footage of him walking back to his car in the maroon t-shirt and shorts. So that's what that says. Interesting.
Here we go. 6:38 p.m. We get an alleged photo of Tyler Robinson buying food at Dairy Queen off campus on the other side of town. My suspicion, I maintain, is that there are multiple people that are involved. Except sometimes.
So that's like the beginning part that I saw, and then basically him being at the Dairy Queen, I guess right after the shooting, and then there was one more that I saw where she was talking about the. What was it? Was it the comparison photo of the person that they got on the surveillance footage and then the actual mugshot of him, and it looked completely different. Like in terms of like the lips and stuff, the top lip looked completely different, and then the chin was different as well. So I don't know, man. People are saying that he was the fall guy. That's at least what people are saying now. Hold on, maybe this is it.
Pam Bondi, who is
that's not it.
complete loser and a tool.
That's not it.
Is trying to use.
Hold on, back it up. Where was? Oh, wait, was it this one? No.
That's his mugshot.
Maybe it's this one.
I seriously doubt that any of you guys noticed this this past weekend, but Candace Owens just casually dropped a huge bombshell.
I'll be right back.
About the Charlie Kirk debacle, fiasco, assassination, murder. I'm still not over it. I still haven't had really a decent sleep since this has happened. And now we've got all these new violent acts that keep happening and happening. The radical nut job anti-American left has not stopped even for a minute. Their violent ratcheting of rhetoric and hate. And I think it's time we cover this. And so I'm sure most of you guys are no strangers to who Candace Owens is. I purposefully have been kind of keeping quiet and just absorbing, paying attention somewhat, not too deeply. But today I'm going to share with you what her bombshell reveal was that she just casually, even TMZ posted this as well, posted on her Instagram story. And then I'm going to go through, if you're willing to sit with me through this. I know a lot of you guys have been messaging me saying, hey, Nez, when are you going to go on and talk about the Candace Owens thing? Charlie Kirk, she brings up this, she brings up that. She's bringing up something valid here, something nutty here. This is the video that you all asked for. So I have broken down, as I always do, doing my due diligence, qualitative and quantitative research, a step-by-step, very easy to follow. It's going to be fast. It's not going to be super long outline of everything that Candace Owens has claimed and all the evidence that seems to contradict that. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to, I don't want to say Candace is, this or that, or trying to do this or that, or is a conspiracy theorist, or is lacking any of this or that. I'm going to just present what's out there, what I have found and discovered. I'll let you know my take at the end.
I definitely think she's a conspiracy theorist, but I also think that if she does have this information and she's not afraid to present it, whether it, tanks her whole platform, it kind of says something about her that she's not afraid to put this stuff out there if she knows that it can put herself at risk. It's like,
yeah,
I'm not really willing to dismiss whatever she has to say. I'd rather listen to what she has to say and then, just find out later if it's true or not, you know, because I think her word is just as good as anybody else's theory online, you know. So
Yeah.
But I want to go through all the facts and evidence first. So sit back, relax, buckle up, grab your favorite drink, your favorite beverage. Your boy Nez is going to take great care of everything. And let's just jump right into it. Okay. By the way, also really quickly, as I always do in full transparency, if you want a copy of all my research notes for absolutely nothing, totally free, I'll let you know how you can do that at the end of this video. Stick around. Okay. So she posted this just yesterday. Okay. Today is the 28th of September as of this recording. She posts 5 different storyboards. I want to break this news immediately because it feels important. And I think if I don't break it immediately, something bad might happen. Very cryptic there. I hope I have earned the trust of enough of the people to believe me when I say that I have verified this information, but cannot reveal the source. One thing I have to say right off the bat about Candace Owens, no matter what you think about her, she is a master storyteller. She is an impresario of marketing and self-promotion. She is a genius when it comes to getting people to pay attention to her. I mean, an absolute genius. No matter what you think of her, I have to give that to her. Okay, in the next storyboard, she says, Tyler Robinson is not, I can't say the word, you can read it there, but he's not somebody who would off himself because they're going to delete the video or suppress it. Even worse, shadow ban me. But you can read it right there on the screen. Tyler Robinson is not someone who would off himself or has tendencies in that regard. The entire narrative that was placed in the media about him, having been that, which you can read right there, the word, is completely fictional, as are many other aspects of what we have been told. In the next storyboard, his father having, quote, turned him in after a confession, end quote, is also complete fiction. To the contrary, Tyler Robinson maintains his innocence and has never even been to the UVU campus. What? There are absolutely 0 photos or video that the campus can produce to the contrary.
are you just now hearing this? Is that the first time you've heard that?
Well, I've heard a lot of conflicting reports. I mean, I've seen that they say there was a second shooter, but I
The
don't
fact
really
that,
know.
that Tyler Robinson has never been to the campus, that was something that was like, whoa, like that's crazy, you know?
Was he even a student there?
No. He wasn't a student. They said that his house was about like a 4-hour drive from wherever he lived to the campus. So,
Well, if he was living in St. George and he's in Orem, you know, St. George is a solid at least 3.5-hour drive away in good traffic.
yeah. So, but the fact that he was 17 minutes away after the shooting took place, it does kind of place him around the scene, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's also pretty hard to do, especially when you have police blockades everywhere, too.
Right. The fact that he was able to slip away, say he was there, and he was able to slip away, and you know, he slipped away on foot, and then maybe got into that Dodge Challenger and stuff and drove off. It just seems like, you know, there would be a lot more cameras on campus, and also as well as the street view to be able to at least track his movements. And I don't know.
Well, downtown Salt Lake City has more cameras. I'm not 100% sure about Orem. I know that Orem is considered safer than downtown Salt Lake City, but just thinking about it, you know, university campuses tend to have a lot of cameras, and you know, the you know, there is that grainy footage of the person jumping from the building and then, you know, making it their way into the parking lot. And then that's where they cut the video off from what I saw.
Yeah, but you would think they would have other camera footage as well that was closer to the building.
Yeah,
that would be able. But I think a lot of that stuff was confiscated too by the FBI, at least from what I've heard. So
yeah, it would have been taken with a warrant and stuff too. So
right, let's continue.
Okay, her next storyboard. She says, we're going to dissect all of this, which is why they have produced nothing more than a blurry image, which Tyler's family knows is not him. Tyler has never once expressed a thought about ending himself. I want to make that clear. The federal government is lying about absolutely everything, other than the fact that it is his gun. And then here is the last storyboard. Not that we need further substantiation, but Tyler Robinson did not author those Discord messages. So I'll go through that later. If you don't know what we're talking about, essentially he was saying, in Discord, which is a chat room. We have a Discord. We have an
He said, I went to go retrieve my vehicle. It just doesn't, it's like retrieve my vehicle. It did not sound natural at all. And in terms of like a guy speaking to his roommate, like normal people in life don't say, I went to go retrieve my vehicle. That's just, didn't make sense. They try to pass it off.
That is normal. That is not normal.
Nation Discord.
You go retrieve your vehicle if it gets towed or impounded.
Yeah. But even then, you don't say that. You say, I went to go get my car. I don't know.
A private chat with members only. People that have to be invited, where he was basically admitting that he did this. I would like to again stress that he has never been to Utah Valley University campus, but, and I need to confirm this later, I believe he was around, in capital letters, the campus on that day. I will have more on this later, but I wanted to immediately publish that the Tyler Robinson narrative about him offing himself or being in that mental state, plus the quote, dad that did the right thing after realizing his son was guilty, end quote, is a federal concoction. Okay, so I have put together this very concrete, substantive outline on Candace Owens's claims on the Charlie Kirk assassination. And again, if you want a free copy of this, I will tell you how you can get this towards the end of the video. Literally, you can just, it's in the pinned comment and in the description. You just click on it and you get it for free. You can download it for free. But I want to kind of contextualize things and give the full scope, because this might be my only video. I've seen so many other independent media, YouTubers, content creators, live streamers, etc., talk about Candace and try to glom onto her, how should I say this? Her successful algorithms. And I'm just not that kind of guy. So I wanted to make sure that I really did this justice. And so here's my version. I hope you're interested, and I hope this is as factual and as due diligent as possible, as you know I always do. So on September 10th, conservative activist Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally wounded during a public event. Okay, that was the FBI and local authorities quickly identified Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old UVU student, charging him with capital murder based on DNA evidence, ballistics, and a confessed motive tied to political grievances. Kirk, age 31, died at the scene from a single rifle shot to the chest, with an exit wound confirmed by autopsy. If you don't know who Candace Owens is, she's obviously somebody who's a prominent conservative commentator. She was a...
Wait, hold on. I got to stop this. So wait, he said that Tyler Robinson was a UVU student, or at least that's what was stated. But
Can we confirm that he was actually a UVU student?
That's literally what he said in the previous paragraph. He said, the FBI and local authorities quickly identified 22-year-old UVU student Tyler Robinson as a suspect. But Candace Owens said that he had never even been on campus, and that would also imply that he was never a student of the school. So that's already conflicting right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this is the story, I guess, that's been published, I guess you can say, that's a big red flag. At least that's in terms of what Candace, I guess, has presented. So let's keep going.
She was a former colleague of Kirk at Turning Point USA, so they were friends. They knew each other. She's used her podcast to promote skepticism and theories, often urging followers to stop accepting the official narrative, end quote. So she's gained a ton of traction, a ton of new kind of dissension amongst the ranks, if you will, of influencers, people who have power in that faction, et cetera, et cetera. I've paid attention to a few of her live streams. I can't get through all of it, but I'll definitely say it's entertaining and it's interesting, and I'm always skeptical. So here's my kind of...
Yes.
I just did the basic Google search. Apparently, Tyler Robinson, he actually attended one semester in 2001.
Got you. So he wasn't a current student.
No,
but he
was
did,
not a current student.
Yeah,
he was a student at one point.
Gotcha. So I mean, that's kind of half true then. But yeah, wow. Okay. So her fact that he's never been on campus is false because he obviously knows the campus, because he did attend there, but he was not an official student during the time of the assassination. Okay.
No, he was not.
All right. I wonder if Candace knows that. Because I mean, she stood pretty. What's that?
That was a statement. That was directly from the Utah Valley website. They made a statement about it on the university's webpage.
Gotcha. And I'm sure, if you did enough digging, you could probably, like have pictures of him and stuff at the school and if he was in any programs or anything like that. But you said just one semester. So maybe not, so interesting. Very interesting.
Answer this. The purpose of this outline, I just want to be very clear. This is to provide a clear fact-based analysis of Owens's key claims. I mean, she makes a lot of claims, but I'm providing as much evidence as I can, and I talk about my verification. So let's get right into it.
Maybe they're going to talk about the Tyler Robinson being at the school for one semester. Maybe here. We'll see.
So here are the key claims of Candace Owens, okay? So claim 1, Tyler Robinson was framed and is innocent, quote, not the shooter. So Owens alleges Robinson is a, quote, patsy, end quote, in a federal setup, claiming he was framed by the government. Concrete examples include on September 27, she posted on Instagram, quote, Tyler Robinson is framed. He is not, you can read the word, somebody who wants to off himself. The entire narrative about him having been in that state is completely fictional. She added he, quote, never confessed, end quote, has never been to the campus, and the only evidence is a blurry image his family doesn't recognize as him. In a podcast episode, she called the official story, quote, federal concoction, end quote, and hinted at, quote, further revelations. She also claimed on X, September 13th, that Discord denied Robinson used their platform for planning, implying feds fabricated digital evidence. So here's...
Well, there you go. I mean, that's another thing. The thing that the feds presented with the conversation. If Tyler Robinson wasn't on Discord during that time, then yeah, there you go. I mean,
yeah.
Which I thought those were phone records. I didn't think that was Discord messages, but I mean, that makes.
I had heard it was some type of message. I didn't know it was Discord.
Yeah,
I thought it was text messages.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the contradicting evidence. Now let's see.
Here's the contradicting evidence. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed Robinson's DNA was found on a towel wrapping the murder weapon, which was a 36 bolt action rifle with ballistics matching the bullet recovered from Kirk's body during autopsy. Prosecutors released text messages from Robinson to his roommate confessing the act, e.g., quote, I did it, Kirk is gone, end quote, time-stamped shortly after the shooting. These were verified via phone records, not Discord. Robinson was arrested September 11th in a nearby apartment after a 33-hour manhunt. Court filings show he attended UVU and had no alibi. Family statements to media acknowledged the image.
So he had a student ID confirmed. That's what it says in parentheses here. So I guess he held on to it and had no alibi.
I think when I went to university, I think I still have mine somewhere.
Yeah, maybe he just kept it in his wallet. Because you said it was from what year? 2000.
2001.
Damn.
So it was 4 years ago. So if they found it on it, it wouldn't be a current one unless he re-enrolled, and Utah Valley doesn't want to admit that. But
Right.
he was living in. But according to some of this, he was living his home with the place where he was living at was in St. George.
Right.
And his family lived in Orem, I believe.
Yeah. So maybe he just dropped out and decided to just go in the workforce. Maybe,
Or maybe he was planning to move to St. George, and there, if memory serves, there's a technical college down in St. George, and there's also another one on the Wyoming-Utah border called Wyotech.
Okay.
And maybe he decided to go to a technical school instead.
Yeah.
It's not inconceivable.
Sure. Let's keep going.
Just him, though blurred for privacy. No evidence of framing. Patel addressed this in a September 22 X post, committing to probe, quote, text message confession and related conversations, end quote. Independent fact checks, e.g. New York Times, found no discrepancy in his ideation to end himself reports from police interviews. So I've combed everything that I can, not just online, but all different outlets, media, etc. Now, I will be the first to admit, and even my son, who's 13 years old, my daughter, who's 12, my wife, who's the most brilliant researcher of all time, I will admit this about the text messages. They do seem a little funky, to say the very, very least. She does a great job, and I watched that episode where she says using words like vehicle and patrol and just different kind of nomenclature seems very odd for a 22-year-old to implement. I will give her that. But again, I'm reserving my judgment. I'll tell you what I think in the end. I can't wait to get your comments. Here, let's keep going. Number 2, her second claim, evidence is fabricated. E.g. fake text, no real wounds, footage issue. So Owens details says, Owens questions forensic and digital evidence, claiming texts are, quote, so federally written, end quote, and, quote, obnoxious messages that someone strung together, end quote. In a September 17 podcast, she alleged reviewing, quote, rear footage, end quote, showing, quote, no blood whatsoever, end quote, or exit wound, implying staging. She also claimed a witness video shows the shot, quote, seconds later, end quote, with a, quote, smaller weapon, end quote, and hinted at a, quote, mystery man, end quote, removing camera footage. I saw that episode too. On X, she said, quote, the feds are in overdrive trying to protect Tyler Robinson's roommate, end quote, suggesting manipulated chats. Now, the contradicting evidence to that, Utah medical examiner's autopsy released September 13th confirmed death by exsanguination from a frontal gunshot with an exit wound on the back. Blood spatter visible in public front-facing security footage and bystander videos. FBI secured all cameras immediately. There was no tampering reported. Minor timeline variances in videos explained by phone clock lags, not mismatches. Texts were authenticated via forensic analysis, not federally written. Patel's September 20 briefing addressed, quote, angle of the shot and bullet impact, confirming rifle use from a ground level, not rooftop. So that's just what the evidence was presented that contradicts what Candace is saying. Her third claim, federal conspiracy or...
Wait, so the gunshot was at ground level, not on the rooftop?
Well, according to the official reports, he wasn't on a roof. He was on a second or third floor. I believe the second floor of a nearby building. And
okay, on the inside of the building, like shooting out of a window, kind of a thing.
From the security camera footage that I saw, I don't think it would be from a window, but 200-yard shot standing, that's difficult. Most people have to get into a prone position to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's what I saw too. And it was that little figure that was on top of the building. And I think a couple of people caught it with their camera phones and stuff. And then they also caught him, getting up and moving after the shot was taken. So I mean, that was a rooftop.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might not have been like a tall building, but it was definitely the rooftop of the building. So I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a contradiction there, and they also claimed that the autopsy said that it was a frontal shot, meaning I guess it was a shot that came from the front and not from the back. So
yeah.
So I guess that at least that is what's been stated. Let's keep going.
Operation involving corruption. Owens describes the killing as a, quote, federal level of corruption and conspiracy, end quote, calling it a, quote, coordinated assassination, end quote, followed by, quote, psychological warfare, end quote. In her September 17th X post, she said, quote, the feds like to play games, end quote. And on September 19th on her podcast, she said, quote, media agents, end quote, suppress questions. She urged exhumation for independent autopsy and took credit for Patel's statement addressing theories, saying, quote, we did this, end quote. So the FBI's transparent updates, September 11th, reward of $100,000 for accomplice info, show no internal role. Patel testified in Senate hearings on the 16th against cover-ups. And
I do remember this reward for the information for the accomplice, whatever, the 100K. Did that money go to Tyler Robinson's father for turning him in?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Me neither.
I mean, I heard there was a reward, but I've never heard that his family received the money.
Right. Because that would kind of be like a payoff for having him, if he wasn't the real guy, but they offered him up, as like the patsy and stuff. Like, here's your payment for doing that. But then, like, yeah, there was never like anything that was publicly said about that reward being given for Tyler Robinson. So, because it happened to be his own father. Yeah. Okay.
Emphasizing pursuit of all leads without bias, no links to organized groups. Robinson's digital trail, which was marked as obsessive anti-Kirk, supports lone actor motive. Autopsy was independent, Utah Medical Examiner, no exhumation needed as results align with forensics. Critics like McCoy called her theories, quote, craven opportunism, end quote. Her fourth claim, involvement of Israel Mossad or external pressure. Bill Ackman kind of falls into this category. So Owens links the killings to Kirk's evolving stance, quote, on Israel, claiming he was, quote, executed, end quote, for criticism. Examples on her September 16 podcast, she alleged that Bill Ackman staged a Hamptons, quote, intervention, end quote, where, quote, threats were made, end quote, and, quote, blackmail, end quote, occurred. Kirk was offered, quote, a ton of money, end quote, to change views, but refused. She suggested Mossad role, prompting Netanyahu's denial, and tied it to Kirk hosting Israel critics, like Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith. She also claimed Kirk
the criticism of Israel had the thing that, if memory serves, that Tucker Carlson and David Smith and even Charlie Kirk were criticizing, Israel's often run on, especially the conflicts in Israel, is that, every so often Israel gets an influx of Jewish people running from certain situations. And the problem, and Tucker Carlson and others have noted that, every time this happens, Israel doesn't try and just, well, no, they do try peaceful first, and then, it comes out that, places in Gaza were just not okay with having more people coming in. But the criticism has always been that Israel keeps trying to just bring in more people instead of trying to push them into more friendly places. Mm-hmm. And then there's also the fact that there's a growing concern amongst American populace that Israel just keeps making situations worse. And there is, if memory serves, there is a little bit of evidence that backs that. I don't remember specifically what they said it was, but it's just keep. I just lost my train of thought. Okay, that's it. It's just that every time Israel does something, there's always a response to from the Muslim world, and Israel always uses that as a means for more funding or more hostile actions, and it's been a late criticism. Instead of Israel responding, they're being slightly more pushing back. And I do understand why Israel would do that, but the other thing is that the situation there's always been so contentious that it's actually a bad idea to keep doing it. So I know the criticism they're talking about, and it's it's not something I could imagine Mossad would really care about, because for a long time in American news, Israel was given a pass, and that's been toned down, and that's been coming down because, as it turned out, Israel hasn't been doing everything they could be doing for peace outside of complete submission to what the Palestinians want. I mean, I don't blame Israel for not wanting to give the Palestinians what they want, but on the flip side of that, Israel has been doing things that have been making peace more difficult in the region. That's a fact.
And they've received, government money from the United States and our neighbors and stuff for funding, and they pay no taxes on it and stuff like that. This is basically kind of like a loan type situation, and it's something that they never have to really pay back. It's just something that's automatically given to them. And I know that there's a lot of people that wonder why are we funding Israel and giving them all of this government aid when they don't provide any aid for us, or they don't really provide any strategic advantage for us.
Actually, Israel does provide us a strategic advantage,
military wise.
Yes. It's not obvious from the maps, but when you actually look at it, Israel is, basically the perfect staging point for it. Let's say, major conflict pops off with Iran, and the US, instead of fighting it, instead of the US funding it, they actually go in and fight it. Israel is, our closest ally in the region, because Turkey and United Arab Emirates has already made it fairly clear that, they will protect themselves, but they won't let the US just use the area around them to deploy for troop deployment and troop movement. So technically speaking, if, let's say, something really major was to pop off in the Middle East, Israel is always one of those points where we already have a small amount of forward troops, because if memory serves, is at least an army base that is American, that is an American base in Israel, and also the seaports there. More often than not, I do know that expeditionary forces do often make port in Israel.
Okay, but we've never had to use them.
Well, we've never had to use them, but it's always been something that's been known for the from military people, even in the 80s, that part of the reason why the US has such a close relationship with Israel is that the region's always been a giant powder keg. And especially after the Iron Curtain fell, it got even worse, because I'm not sure, Camp, what you know of the history of the region, but the history of that region is fairly violent. I mean,
well, they have a wall now, right? They have a wall around their whole city.
Not exactly, but no, I mean, in the past, I mean, you know, those were, I mean, most people don't know I mean, people should know this, but I imagine most people just kind of glossed over it in history class. But you know, the modern day Middle East, you know, that's where a good majority of the initial crusades happened. You know, that's where Saladin was, and that's where you get the star and the moon, because that was actually Saladin's symbol. I don't know how many people remember that, but I do. But the big problem there is that when Islam is left to its own devices, they have their own tribes there. I mean, if you go back to Iraq, you know, there were actually two different groups in Iraq, and if memory serves, it wasn't the Shia and the Sunni, that was Afghanistan. In Iraq, it was the Kurds, and I want to say it was something similar to the Shia in Iraq. And Saddam Hussein wasn't a Kurd, he was the other one. Wait, that's it. Sunni. That's the right word I'm looking for.
Okay.
He was Sunni, and his a lot of his enemies were the Kurdish, and you know, these are tribes there, and you know, and they all believe in Islam, they all believe in Sharia law, but they believe in their version, and it's been a constant fight there even before the USSR went in there and kind of carved it up. But that region has always had a high level of conflict.
Okay.
And during when the USSR was there, where were they all focused on fighting? They were fighting against the Russian occupation. And when the Russian occupation, when the Iron Curtain fell, you know, that's when they started fighting against each other. And, you know, the thing that most people tend to forget is that the region there has always been a heavily contested region. And, you know, nowadays it's still that same giant, enormous powder keg that's waiting to go off. And, you know, a lot of people tend to forget that.
Well, it's also, I guess, very shielded by a lot of the, I guess, the people that are, I guess, in high-ranking positions, people that would like to protect Israel, and then there's people, you know, that don't really see them as an asset to the United States. And
well, it depends on who you ask, because if you go to military strategists who look at the region and say, you know, this is one likely battlefield for the start of World War III, which is entirely plausible here. But, you know, this is one of those regions where it's likely to, where we're going to have to move in. And, you know, do we want to have a repeat of the Normandy beach landings, where you lost on two separate beaches, you know, a good chunk of your forces and manpower? Would you want to go through that again? The answer to that question is no. Losing that much manpower, especially with the death benefits that we have nowadays, you know, that's expensive. So it's actually smarter to have a place where you can actually have troops come in on ship, by the sea, and, you know, even a couple of landing strips where you can land troop transports. You know, it's more economical that way. And you're also, you know, in a semi-secured area to where you can deploy troops and it works, and it saves lives, and it actually works a lot better. I mean, most people don't know this, but where did the US go into Iraq? Yes, did they go around? Did you have ships drop off troops around Iraq's ports because they weren't that well defended? Yes, that did happen. But a lot of the staging, that happened in Israel. Not too many people know that.
I mean, with our military technology, couldn't we just drop a bunch of drone strikes in there instead of having to deploy any troops and risk any manpower? Wouldn't it be, easier just to drop a missile?
Well, it is. That's actually something that we learned in Vietnam that doesn't work well, because in Vietnam, the North Vietnamese, most people assume when you rain shells on an area, do you get most of the people there, or do they evacuate? Well, if you're in guerrilla warfare, which was predominantly going on there, guerrilla warfare always adapts and changes. So what the North Vietnamese did was they actually dug in. They dug holes to hide in. They even dug tunnels. I mean, there's a reason why they had tunnel rats that went into the tunnels to look for the for the North Vietnamese. And, more often than not, the tunnel rats who actually survived, they were a lot of them had a rope tied around their waist, and more often than not, they were handed a 9mm and a knife, and they were sent in to those tunnels.
Yeah.
And the North Vietnamese learned that if you hunkered down in a hole and the hole was deep enough, you could be relatively safe from artillery and mortar artillery strikes, bomb strikes, unless they wanted to drop fairly hefty yields of bombs, and that gets expensive too.
Yeah, probably more expensive than deploying troops. Yeah, I get that.
So the thing, and mountains in Iraq, Afghanistan, a lot of those mountains have caves in them, and even ancient cave systems from a long time ago. And a lot of the locals know about them. In fact, some locals in Iraq and Afghanistan still live in those caves.
Wow. For safety?
No, not just for safety, but their families have lived there for generations.
Gotcha. Wow. I mean,
So,
are we up against a sophisticated enemy with like sophisticated weapons and all that stuff? I mean, are we completely outmatched against them? Or are we the ones that are dominant in terms of like our technology?
Well, our technology is dominant, but when you've got, a couple thousand feet of rock and dirt protecting you from blasts and explosions, if you're unlucky, the system will collapse and you're stuck down there, and that's it. But if you can actually reinforce those tunnels, you basically have to destroy part of the mountain just to get that, and that's costly.
Yeah.
So, we can sit here and say, oh, we can bring drone strikes, and that's true. But, if you can hunker down enough and get deep enough, I mean, even in the last Hunger Games movie, they even demonstrated that, if you went underground deep enough, you can get bombed and you'll be fine. You won't be happy for like a few days or a couple of weeks,
but you'll be alive.
You'll still be alive.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so as much as the idea of just bombing some places out, it doesn't always work, especially when you have places underground to hide.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough, man. That's one thing that, like, I'm not a military strategist. I don't study, wars and all that stuff, but I will, I do have these thoughts and stuff when it comes to, our technology and, what we're capable of. And I know there's other countries that have like nukes and stuff like that. And, that's why we do offer peace, amongst these nations and stuff. And we try to maintain it the best we can. But if World War III were to break out, I think it would probably be people pressing the red button, instead of just trying to, do a military roundup of all, age appropriate males to go and fight, when we have all of these, unmanned UAV strikes that we can do and all this technology, satellite technology, to track movement and stuff. And even infrared scopes that we can see, where people are, a couple feet underground. I think there's all of that stuff, satellite imaging but
yes, we have all that, but you can't penetrate, 200-300 feet of rock.
Right. No, I got you.
With our current like level of technology, it'd be cool if we could. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
So
I think also you have to balance the I guess the weapons and like their strength against like, are we trying to kill everybody, men, women, and children, or are we just trying to kill the infidels or the extremists that we're going after and still offer aid to help rebuild afterward, to the people that are left, because I know there's kind of a delicate balance with that as well.
Yeah, so, from the military perspective, you actually need a relatively safe place to land to deploy troops. And for the U.S., that's Israel.
Gotcha. Well, it just seems like there's a lot of people that I guess have strong views. I guess whether Israel is our true ally or if they're just kind of taking advantage of our ongoing support. And then and I guess the limited knowledge that's out there that they actually they are a potential forward operating base for us. Like people just I guess because we've never had to use them for that. That's probably why people are holding that position of whether they are actually helping us or not. But
well, sadly, that is the case.
Yeah, let's continue to see what else he's got. So far, the claim involvement of Israel, Mossad, external pressure, and then the contradicting evidence. Let's see what he's going to say.
Catholic under pressure. And then Bill Ackman posted WhatsApp exchanges showing friendly post-event chats denying threats / money offers. Attendees corroborated no intervention. Netanyahu issued 2 denials. Former Mossad chief Yossi Cohen stated, quote, Mossad had no part, end quote. FBI probes found no foreign ties. Kirk's pro-Israel stance was consistent, i.e.e.g. Netanyahu's invitation was genuine per records. McCoy refuted Catholic conversions as baseless gossip. So those are her major key claims, okay? So the overall assessment here is that, while emotionally charged and amplified by her platform, you got to understand her podcast charted number 2 on Spotify. Post this. Relying on speculation without evidence, often contradicting forensic digital witness data, official probes emphasize transparency, e.g. Patel's commitment to exhaustive review, with no substantiation for conspiracies as of today's date, September 28, 2025. This case could potentially highlight how grief can fuel misinformation, encourage audiences to prioritize verified sources like FBI updates. And I wanted to kind of share some highlights that honor Charlie Kirk's legacy, because I do think that this has potential to kind of defame or at least smear Charlie Kirk's legacy. And if you were with us during the live stream of Charlie Kirk's memorial, it was one of the most beautiful events I've ever seen. Erica knocked it out of the park. Trump knocked it out of the park. J.D. Vance knocked it out of the park. Stephen Miller knocked it out of the park. So many others I thought were just so absolutely amazing. So I have that in my notes here. But here's my take. So she is essentially what Candace Owens, and again, I'm giving her full respect. I think she's one of the most brilliant, intelligent, articulate craftswomen, storytellers, commentators out there. She really knows how to garner attention better than almost anybody I know or have known in this space. I give her that. It's interesting how her podcast got to number 2 after all of this. That is something that's very interesting. But to me, this is my take, okay? She is claiming that the federal government has created a concoction, a fabrication about pretty much everything around the Charlie Kirk assassination. Now,
just in that strategy alone, that's why she was able to gain the number 2 spot, because people are going to naturally ask questions after a major event. So if she can give those people answers, or at least assume that she has the answers or the inside information, yeah, people are going to check her out and see what she has to say. And like, it just seems like she had more and more crazy like headlines that people are willing to investigate and look into than anybody else that is just, kind of being sad about this whole situation. She's just kind of taking the stance that no, that we're being lied to by the federal government about what happened, and I think that's a lot more sensationalized and a lot more, I guess, attractive, and people are going to be more interested in what is going to be presented there than anything else. So just pandering to the conspiracy theorists. So
yeah,
it's the right strategy.
It is a strategy. Comparatively, there's always going to be a measure of suspicion when someone of this political nature, when an assassination happens. So it's very, this is something that typically happens. And, just with what the research that I did, I've already verified that some parts of it were incorrect. Just by me doing like basic level research.
Right.
So,
which is more than what most people probably did. Most people probably just didn't do any research and just hung off of every word that Candace said, and probably went on Twitter or whatever social media they had and just kept spreading the word, kept probably reposting whatever she said, and can spread the whole narrative. So
yeah. So yeah. I do understand why she would do it. I just don't think it was the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah. There's a level of like, is this in good taste? Even though she said that she was friends with Charlie Kirk, is this really, is it honoring his legacy by saying that the people are being lied to of how he was assassinated? Is that really the angle that you want to take if this guy really was your friend? I don't know. It's It seems like she's being more of an opportunist. So, Exo Charles, to your question that you posed about an hour ago, what do you think about Candace Owens? I think she's an opportunist. I think she is very articulate. She does have that on her side, but also the investigative chops, to maybe do some digging, but then also coming to her own conclusions and formulating her own narratives. I think she's very good at presenting her ideas. But once you kind of do your own research, you realize that it's always important to get your sources from multiple sources rather than just from one. So, if you're a follower of Candace Owens, it might be good to check out, whatever claims that she makes, to do your own research and don't just rely on what she's saying. And that's just with anybody, that's just in general, you should never just get all your information from one source. But yeah, that's just, I do think she's a little bit of an opportunist, and yeah, I'm sure she's made a lot of money from the Charlie Kirk post assassination content, I'm sure. she was, earlier this year, I think maybe last year, with what's it called? Daily Point? Daily News Point? What's the name of the thing with what's his face? What's his name?
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, yeah. On what is his thing? What is Daily Wire? Daily Wire. That's right. And I remember she had that whole promotion about herself saying that she was uncancelable, and she immediately got canceled off that show. So it was just maybe it was good. Maybe it was good for her, because now she's spun off on her own show that she carries, and but in the same vein of trying to be the first to have the scoop on everything, I think she's kind of selling her soul a little bit by trying to profit off of this, this narrative about the FBI being, telling us lies and stuff. And you know what? It may be true, but at the same time, it's like anybody that comes and tries to present facts to you with like absolute certainty, like, it's like, I don't know. I find myself being skeptical as well. Like, I can't believe anybody that says they have all the answers,
And you can't just do that. Sadly, it'd be nice if we could just sit back, relax, smile, and believe what the news tells us. But sadly, you can't do that anymore because too many have their own agenda to do things.
Right. Exo Charles came back. He says, I just watch it for entertainment, and that's kind of like the best way to really approach it. You don't really take it in as actual advice or actual, knowledge or truth. You just enjoy the spectacle of it. That's kind of how I do it Fresh and Fit. I don't take in any of the lessons or any of the I guess what's it called, the information. I don't take it in. I just kind of look at it as entertainment, so I think that's the best approach, Exo Charles. I don't know, man. I guess that's kind of it, man. That's all I wanted. This was all just a test stream. I just wanted to make sure that the audio was working. I'm glad we could hear Ghost voice loud and clear. I'm glad Sonic was able to come out, Kavos as well. We're definitely going to be ready for next Saturday when we do our another live stream. So I'm just glad I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to leave everything the way it is, and hopefully it will all work out. So, Ghost, do you have anything to say before I sign off, sir? Any announcements?
My live stream was earlier today. After working out a couple things with my kids, I did change my live stream time from 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. so that, because I found that more people tune in when I do that time. So my live streams on Sundays are now starting at 6 p.m. instead of 10 p.m.
Okay. And I believe, if you guys want to check out his stuff, definitely go check out his channel. I'll put his link in the description. And if you guys are part of my Discord, you guys can also check out his content as well. You're always sharing it on there as well. So there's multiple ways to check out Tea and Toast with Ghost. And I don't know if I will eventually, maybe I will just, I don't know. I'll leave up that stream that we had, the one with the poor audio. I'll leave it up. But I definitely, I was thinking about just deleting it altogether, but I don't think we should do that. I think I should just leave it how it is. Maybe put in the descriptions, sorry about the audio, and just leave it as is. But yeah, we will definitely be here next week. And again, I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take care.
See everybody later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, take it easy. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Can't fuss with one.
squad moves like a freight train. Streaming live Saturdays, no need for a campaign. Cook Benny in the chat, spitting heat, uncontained. Haters lurking in the shadows, they ain't built for this terrain. Kavos dropping gems, wisdom sharper than a blade. XO Charles in the mix, got the whole game amazed. Taking souls for free, no invoice, no delays. Debating Sonic, spitting logic, making waves. Hustlers unite every Saturday night. We shine bright, got the spotlight in sight. Live stream flames, haters take flight. Chopping it with Hank, keep the vibe airtight. Commentary live, no script, just pure flair. Every bar a dagger, leaving doubters in despair. This ain't just a hustle, it's a kingdom we declare. Building brick by brick, we ain't folding under glare. Hank Russell in the cut, breaking bread, trading thoughts. While they talk trash, we strategize and plot. Every stream a canvas, every word a stroke of art. We out here taking names, pulling strings, playing smart. Hustlers unite every Saturday night. We shine bright, got the spotlight in sight. Live stream flames, haters take flight. Chopping it with Hank, keep the vibe airtight.